All right, guys, when we named this podcast club Top Shot, we did intend on actually talking about Top Shot. So tonight, there will be no horsey talk. There will be no CryptoPunks talk, no man's coin talk. Yes, I just lumped those in with the others. No, tonight we are talking Top Shot. We have a State of the Union. There are bears. There are bulls. People are concerned. And we had to bring in none other than Trey Kerby. We got our guys, Mike and Andy, Jack Stableman over here as well. Trey, thank you for coming back to the club and getting back to our roots with us.
I didn't know it was going to be such an important moment that you would have me back right away for the State of the Union. That's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
Well, since, when we first had you on, you were kind of getting your toes wet in the Top Shot streets, but now you're an elder statesman of the community, and I think the people need to hear from you on how you're feeling.
Well, I deposited last weekend, if that tells you anything. Ooh. But that's just for me, Things have been going well with the podcast, It's been going well with the podcast, and the prices were looking tasty. So, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, people are, we're talking 50-50 bears and bulls at this point, maybe. But for me, once I finally decided to dip into Top Shot circa end of January, I knew I was going to be in at least until the season is over. And then pretty much instantly, I was in way longer than that. So for me, I still want to be have the perspective that I have when I first was interested in it. Obviously, some things have changed, but I'm still trying to enjoy the things that I've enjoyed about it the whole time. I'm still excited anytime I hear there's a new Bulls moment out there. Like, Lauri Markkanen is barely playing for the Bulls. I couldn't have been more hyped that he finally got a moment on Top Shot. Now he's getting a hollow moment in not too long. I'm like the biggest Lauri Markkanen fan in the world. And that's what it is for me, is like, I'm in collector mode right now, is what I'm feeling, I want to have my Bulls. I want to have my rookies. I want to have my classic players as well. And that really hasn't changed. And now if you're a collector right now, now's a good time, I would say, because you can acquire some things you might have been peeping about a month ago that might have been a little tougher to stomach, if you know what I'm saying.
What has been the your no dunks audience reaction? Because obviously they see the Top Shot hot boys getting into it. Then they maybe come in, maybe they're having trouble getting packs or their moments aren't going to the moon. Do you guys get negative feedback of why are the hot boys hyping this up, or what has that been like for you guys?
Totally. We get some of people saying, thank you so much for telling me about this. This is so much fun. I've got, I've got some of my friends texting me now. I still feel like I've got 5 times more friends that are excited about it than even knew about it 2.5 months ago. But of course, some of our audience is saying, this is going to be nothing. What are you guys doing? You guys are wasting your time, blah, 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 blah. But, we're just cranking out content left and right. Just press fast forward. If it's not for you, it's not for you, is kind of how I feel with it. And a lot of people have shown that, we're not dipping into. Depends on if the conditions are right. Honestly, you never know once you push the seeds into the ground. But let's just say I love for things to grow in every part of my life, whether that be gardening, whether that be Top Shot, whether that be my children, my relationships, the podcast chart numbers. I always want it going up.
You said the pod is going well, not the pot is going well. Yeah. I think that's just a miscommunication.
Yeah. Both, to be honest. It's April. We're having a great time. The weather is great here in Atlanta. I honestly had a great dad life weekend, if I'm being real with you guys. So I'm on a high naturally right now.
Yeah,
caught a giant fish. Oh, hell yeah. I caught the biggest fish of my life yesterday and then went on a family bike ride with my 6-year-old actually riding a bike for the first time today. So what a life, What a life.
Yeah, I need to get this photo up here of the fish you caught in. But as we do this, Jack, you were the one that kind of called for this State of the Union. I know you get in lots of back and forth with people on Twitter, in the Discord and stuff. So let us know kind of the impetus for why you wanted to do this and some things you're feeling right now.
I just think there's so much discussion going on, either in our DMs, in the Discord, and all these different places. And that is a nice. Are you gonna cook that?
That's gone. See you later. Bye-bye. Catch and release always.
Catch and release.
This was my first time fly fishing.
What kind of fish is that?
That's a rainbow trout, 26 inches. People are like, you'll probably never catch a trout that big again. So I'm like, well, that's awesome. Peak at the top and then just plummeting down. Sounds familiar. Just kidding. I love it. I was so thrilled. I was out for 8 hours yesterday. 8 hours.
Wow.
Caught one fish. One fish I caught, but it was worth it.
It was a big one. But yeah, Pete, I thought we needed a long form conversation. A lot goes on in Twitter, Discord. It's very easy to get, your thoughts jumbled and people don't see everything. So here we have a platform to talk Top Shot. People have been begging us to talk Top Shot. But there's so much to dive into. And I think it's like, if we talk positively about it on Twitter, we're pumping bags. If we talk negatively about it on Twitter, it's like, those guys lost faith. If you say a positive thing, but you're not buying, then you're a liar. But if you don't sell, it doesn't matter because you should be depositing. We all need to be more like Trey. So, but yeah, I think it'll be cool to hear like different comments and just go through it all, because I think my stance is, like, I think you actually posted, and did someone do an article about you, Pete?
I don't know. I get lots of articles written about me. So it's kind of hard to
tons of requests.
But
many quotes given.
Something that correlated with me, I thought, was like you said, and you just started the pod off with it also, was if you're in it for the long haul, then a lot of the, like, I think a lot. Oh, also another thing I forgot to mention, we can't speak on anything because we were in early. That's another thing I get a lot. So like, I think it's just, we need to position it in a way that people really think like we get where everyone's coming from. A few of us have withdrawals, right? And a lot of people don't. So there's just so much shit that's going on. But takeaway is, if you're bullish long-term, I think that there's still like an incredible opportunity here. But then there's also a lot of people who are like, will it ever get back to where it was? And what they mean by that is like, will Ish Smith MGLEs ever be $1,000 again? And the answer is no. But does that mean that LeBron moments can't get back to their price? Does that mean that like people were just like buying shit coins essentially, right? Like, no offense to Michael Green, I hold your MGLE, I should have sold it. But like, so I just think there's so much to talk about. I think we need to like segment it and just like dive into each kind of different topic.
Yeah, and I do want to mention too, one other thing we're going to do on the show later tonight is we have 3 guys from the Deposit Kingdom Club Top Shot VIP Discord that are going to come on and talk to us, because we've gotten comments, hey, you got whales, you got early adopters. Let's hear some perspectives from people who got in a little later, people with more modest sized collections, how they're feeling. So we are going to get a wide spectrum of voices tonight, and looking forward to that. But yeah, let's go to Mike and Andy here, because like Jack said, there's kind of the criticisms. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, as far as pumping or not truly believing in it. I've never understood this idea that you have to be buying daily to be bullish. Like, would anyone ever say to someone who owns Tesla stock, like, you're bearish on Tesla because you're not buying more Tesla every day? I don't think they would, but they say that to Top Shot people. So Mike, where do you think that's coming from?
So first I'd say, Jack, I think this was a great idea. There's been swirling negativity for a while now. It's obviously correlated with market performance. I'd also say you brought up a good point where it's a little bit challenging at times that really any time any of us speak, or any of the larger accounts speak, or the early adopters speak, it's dismissed outright, because obviously the platform's been good to me. I got in early, and we can fall a lot further, and I'll still be happy with the overall outcome of Top Shot. I guess I just ask people to try and take away facts and information from my comments and not just kind of, if I disagree with your comment, immediately point to the fact that Top Shot's been good for me. Try and keep things productive, constructive. Yes, Trey, you're having a good time down there. What's going on?
Oh, just flirting a little. No big deal. Just flirting a little.
But I think that's important, and it'll make this conversation more valuable for you if you aren't sitting in your seat right now looking for us to trip up, looking for reasons to say, hey, you're trying to pump your bags, looking for reasons. All we're trying to do is just answer questions, provide information. I've said openly on national television, I'm not selling any moments. I don't care if you price up my moments for the next 2 weeks and then it falls off a cliff. Watch my account. I don't know if I'm sure one of these tracking websites has a little check button that you can click next to my account. Just watch. I'm not selling anything. Nothing comes off my account. It's vaulted up by the accountant. We all know.
Yeah, there's a guy with a gun in the other room. Mike cannot touch that computer.
Yeah. I'm going to turn my computer. And so I have a lot of thoughts I want to share, but I do just ask that people try and focus on the content, not focus on the source of the thoughts.
Andy?
Yeah. No, it's good. I think, there's been a lot of very heated Twitter debates by some larger named people over the last little bit about Top Shot and stuff. And I've generally stayed away from it for the most part, outside of a couple times where I felt like people were saying things that were just either like blatantly wrong, or I've tried to chime in, but I've generally tried to stay away from it. I feel like talking about it in a setting like this is way easier, where you can kind of more appropriately articulate your point than a 280 character a little bit. I'm also very excited to really dive deep into some charts that our guy Trey has cooked up that I think are going to change a lot of your guys' opinions about the marketplace. I think there's some big inefficiencies that people haven't been thinking about, and that's going to be huge for us.
Yeah, and we're going to try to do what we always do at the club and have fun here and mix in some actual conversations, because like we said, we're getting it from both sides of people wanting us to talk about the nitty gritty right now. And I saw one comment, Jack, where someone was just like, the truth is Top Shot is kind of boring right now. And I would say it's boring relative to like it mooning, exponentially every single day. But did you seem to agree with that sentiment that it's boring for people, or what do you think the issue is?
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while, but I think there's two sides to everything. Just like you said, it was exciting. Well, we'll touch on that, but like, think about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not exciting. It can't be. It's not anything, right? This guy made it up, and then we all started buying it. And the only time people get excited. And Andy started
I'm gonna need that clip.
Andy converted to sushi, and then Mike's eating it. I don't even know what the fuck happened. But Bitcoin is not exciting unless what happens? The price fucking goes up. So yeah, that was a large part of it. But there was pack drops. There was an active liquid marketplace, which I thought was fun. There were really thoughtful, fun challenges to complete. You could trade. So yes, some of the stuff that there was, that did, was halted. Packs had to stop. Trading had to stop. The liquidity even dropped off to a degree. But also, like we've been saying from day one, the utility is coming. I've always talked about the video game, but even showcasing your collection in a cool way, like makes this stuff more exciting. Pack openings are probably the most exciting piece of content you get from this stuff. And just no one really had packs for a pretty long time. So also the pack, like the queue is a piece of the excitement. And like, if all the pack drop stuff gets removed, then you kind of don't have it. And then people saw us go to Zed and they're like, oh my God, Top Shot's dead. And we're like, no, Zed's really fun. I haven't done a horse race in 3 days. Like Trey said, you can go fishing. Like you don't have to, like you don't have to be staring at your computer all day long. So I actually think the comments about Top Shot only being fun because the price is going up is very interesting to me, because the most fun that I was having on Top Shot was when I first got into it, and I was like the first couple of months of Top Shot, the prices were not going up, right. and you were buying in a moment that there was no liquidity and there was nothing happening, right. And it was still really, really fun. And so I think that a lot of the core stuff about Top Shot is very fun. People just have like a really, really skewed view of what the marketplace should be doing, because there was a period of time where it was going so insane. And that's like
all that a lot of people knew for a very long portion of like their entry to Top Shot, and it kind of is going to take a while for people to reset their expectations around a lot of that.
The marketplace to me is now in a very similar state when I dipped in, because there's actually like, you could log on to the site and find a decent player at a decent price, right? Like if I would have logged on, I'm like, cool, $6 Ish Smith is my best deal here. No, thank you. But it was Zach LaVine. I love Zach LaVine. Now it could be, a Joel Embiid is $11 or something like that. There's a sick Jokic assist where he throws the ball most of the length of the court. That's like $14. These are like, decent players that you could like, that you could enjoy. And I mean, I'm a little bit of a sicko about it. Like I will gladly spend 3 hours just literally watching these moments to see what's going on in the background. But I know that's not everybody, but I do know that some people actually care about what's going down with this. Like I'm actually excited to see which Bulls plays are going to come out. But yeah, I mean, the excitement of, logging on every single morning and seeing what went down in the middle of the night, the changes and things. Things definitely aren't moving quite as quick as they were.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Trey, I mean, we have the receipts right here that you are quite willing to go deep down the rabbit hole of your own research. And also, to Andy's point, the funnest I've had with Top Shot has honestly been building out my spreadsheet, the targeting moments, the prices, looking at how that stuff changes, filling out the moments that I want to collect. I'm guessing, Trey, that this spreadsheet probably marks the most fun you've had in Top Shot as well.
Yeah, real sicko hours watching every moment from base set 2 to the point where I was like, I was thinking about this streams and I was like, this really sucks. I can't believe they put out 51 new moments and I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch them. I was wasting my time catching a fish when I could be looking at jerseys. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't know. I come at it from a different perspective as well, because a lot of my interest in Top Shot as well is the content of it. Like me and Skeets have a fun thing going with the Top Shot Hot Boys. We want to come up with ideas, and it's like, okay, so we'll find 5 rebounds. Let's find 5 rebounds and make a showcase out of that, because the showcase has the best music on the entire site. Sounds like Timbaland. It's incredible stuff, but you have to seriously go through and watch all those moments. Like Isaiah Stewart's got a really great rebound moment. He actually boxes out in it, and then it's a putback off the glass. Pretty rare stuff if you really think about it. But you have to go in and watch an Isaiah Stewart rookie moment to know he's boxing out John Collins underneath. You know what I'm saying? You got to go deep if you're really pulling out this content. So I don't know. I'm willing to put in 3 or 4 hours watching basketball, which I do anyways, to have some showcase ideas in the future. Just wait until that Dunked on Stars showcase drops. It's going to be crazy.
Did this deep dive lead to any purchases, any moments you felt were undervalued, or just get you more excited about a moment you hadn't previously given as much thought to?
Well, the rarest jersey is an orange Suns jersey that's in the background of a Mason Plumlee dunk.
What makes it the rarest jersey?
It only shows up literally one time in the entire base set 2. As the player on the moment, or as the opponent in the background of a moment. It's the only time. It's the only orange jersey as well, period. So that Mason Plumlee now is one of the rarest cards out there. But you gotta have the spreadsheet to be able to know that. So that's why I wanted to come here and tell people about this spreadsheet.
Talking about
this moment.
Someone check the blockchain. How many of these moments does Trey own? We're about to get into.
I mentioned that I deposited last weekend. I bought every available Plumlee as soon as I finished up with the research.
Yeah,
someone does that. Someone. Who is it? Wades or something? Someone buys all the Plumlee moments. Like that's his bit.
Are you thinking of
Arsenic?
Is it
Cody Zeller? He does
Cody
Zeller.
Yeah. So let's get into this here a little bit too, Jack. Where are you at with? Let's do that. Go back to that criticism of we're all, I think, bullish here. I don't want to speak for everyone, and yet we aren't packing our bags daily. So how do you respond to that criticism?
Like that we should be?
Or just saying if you're going to be saying you're bullish, then I need to be able to go look at your Top Shot account and see you've recently purchased a moment.
Per your note on Tesla stock, I think if you're selling, that's kind of a tough argument and angle to take, right? Which is look
who it is.
You're like I'm so bullish. I'm so excited. But also, even within that, like I could say I'm bullish, and I could now that the market feels more accurate, I could dump my bottom stuff and consolidate up, and that could still mean I'm bullish. Like I have sold a LeBron moment. I think it was around All-Star, and I turned it, I put it right back into different stuff because it was fun. But I have been looking at the market, but my blanket statement on the whole thing is like, I do want to buy. I think the prices are good, but I don't know when the free fall or what's coming next really. And I've talked about that a bunch. Like quickly at 290, I bought them at 1500. I bought them at 1300. Bought them at 1100. Bought them at 750. Right. So I bought them all the way down, and like 290, I'm like, fuck. Like I want to buy 20 of them. Literally, like I want to not pay rent and just buy these up. And my rent's not $6,000 a month. That was bad math. But I don't know if an IQ MGLE is coming. I don't know if a legendary. I don't know the platinum date. So it really does, in that sense, give me an uneasiness on what to do. Series 1, I think you have a better idea. But with a lot of Series 2 stuff, I'm just like, the series isn't complete. And you saw with the IQ moments, each pack drop, like his stuff isn't even fully in circulation. So that's why for me, it's tough to not buy Series 2 right now, and even some Series 1, just because more of those players are going to come in and the rare stuff's coming. So that's kind of my feeling and why I haven't made a ton of buys right now. But I've been going through the marketplace.
Yeah, well, I think.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to welcome you to the stream.
Yeah, go ahead, and then I'll chime in on what Jack just said.
Long day sweating the Masters, Pete.
Let's continue on.
Okay, sorry, Eddie, go ahead.
That's right. Well, I think a lot of like what Jack was just saying too kind of comes down to like what I was saying about not wanting to talk too much on Twitter about these arguments and rather do it over a live stream. Like you lose a just infinite amount of nuance and extra information just looking at someone's transactions on an account and trying to decide in their own mind what they think, and like really just. If you think someone is saying something and doing something else, like have a conversation with them and try to get their side of the story first, because like you do not know just by looking at someone's account. The only thing I would say maybe is like if I'm super bearish and at the same time buying millions of dollars of Top Shot moments, then maybe I'm trying to suppress the market to buy more moments. But outside of that, you really have to talk to someone and understand where they're coming from before you can say like make sweeping claims about someone lying or being disingenuous.
Yeah. What do we, one big shakeup we have, news just broke right before the stream. We're going to get the holo drop tomorrow, 1K. Last time we had it, they had issues with the drop. That was back when they were still figuring out the queue system for that one. The queue system appears to be figured out now. I believe it's a little over 2,000 packs are going to be available tomorrow. Last time I remember that was one of my big buying days because people were selling stuff off cheap, trying to get Dapper balance to go off to the pack. So how are we feeling about the holo drop? How do you guys think it might impact the market? How many people do we think get in the queue for this one?
I know I said I don't normally bring data, but the only data I did was I sent the text, and at the bottom of the text, it said, "Are you planning on being in it?" I actually thought now that packs aren't necessarily, someone can do the calculation. They don't feel like guaranteed locks to be profitable. I think they can still be plus EV, but like if you pull the worst holo, I don't know if that's going for over $1,000. But the large majority of people said they'd be, and I might not even buy into this pack because I'm just, as you know, I'm not that liquid right now. I've got like 4 Dapper bucks. So I was surprised at that, but I'm curious what
Jack, you're going after the drop. Stop pretending.
For it's a content play.
That's right.
I got to get the Q screenshot,
What Trey, are the hot boys gonna be in the mix for the holo drop?
Yes.
Podcast is doing well, I see.
Have you guys taken a look at the people who are actually in the drop? Anyone have any feelings on that?
Did they just release it?
So I saw it from the First Mint Twitter.
Let me pull that up.
Yeah.
Are you saying you don't just have to come to the stream to be eligible? Was I tweeting fake
no,
news?
not the requirements to be in it. I'm saying the actual players who are available.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because we're still waiting on the requirements.
Yeah, I just kind of feel bad for Josh Jackson I feel like there's no way that tomorrow is going to be a good day for Josh Jackson on Twitter. There's just no way.
One of the few NBA players to have been homeschooled. There's a fun fact for Josh Jackson.
There we go.
Maybe the only one.
Add that to your charts. Yeah. All you homeschoolers.
Yeah, there you go. Darius Baisley probably taking a hit tomorrow too. I don't know where he went to high school. Can't answer.
As a Thunder fan, I am excited to get that Darius Baisley.
Yeah, sure.
But otherwise, yeah.
I'm trying to get pulled up the requirements here. The chat is saying that those are now out here as well. Maybe this chat has them. You own 15 plus moments, own 2+ rare moments, own 1+ legendary moment.
Wow. And wait, legendary's what? Is that MGLE now, or that's
it's got to be a hollow cosmic, lace them up, deck the halls.
Oof.
Finals legendary.
That's crazy.
It looks like they must have some kind of form right now in the blog where you can put your account in and it spits out if you're eligible. It seems like people are copy and pasting.
Yeah.
Is there a link to that blog somewhere?
Yeah,
I think I got it.
Share.
Yeah.
Corey, yeah. People are now saying in the comments that it's one of the above. You don't need all of the above.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. If you want to pop it up, yeah, here we go. Yeah, at least one. So
Or
at least 15 moments. Oh, when is the okay, so it's where's the
snapshot
screenshot?
was
The snapshot happened already, yeah.
today.
That's good.
At 6.
The snapshot was today. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So I feel like let's talk about it. What do you guys think?
I guess it's the 15 moments. It seems hard to think who would be the people that would have 2 rares or 1 legendary, but not 15 moments. I guess that seems like a little bit of a weird qualifier.
I guess someone, the guy.
Jeremy Levine.
Yeah.
Jeremy Levine fits that pose, that for sure.
He doesn't have more than 15 moments?
I think Jeremy has the Zion number 1 hollow, LeBron Cosmic, whatever. He probably has 5 or 6 moments that are all.
We can check, right?
Yeah,
It's a blockchain. It's a blockchain. But I think what it says is it rewards the collectors or the spenders, which is what they're trying to entice, right? And to eliminate the flippers per se. So I'm curious what the chat thinks. If they think that's a good one. Good.
Oh, he's got some moments. He's got 30 moments or so. No base moments. It's all. He has one. He has a Tyrese Halliburton and an Obi Toppin. Those are his only 2 base moments.
Not sure.
Wow, slumming it with those guys.
I'm just waiting for the person with 14 commons and 1 rare to complain.
Oh, you know that person exists.
How many moments does he have, Jeremy?
In the range of 30, I would say. I didn't count exactly.
Oh, wow. I thought he was under 15 for sure. My bad.
No, he's definitely over that.
Is 15 a fair number, do you think? That's what, 5 packs, 5 common
I think
packs.
so. What's the cheapest moment you could buy in the marketplace right now? Not that people would buy that, but
it's I think $6 or $7.
I'm trying to look
Ish
right now.
Smith still going for $6 or $7?
No, I actually think Van Vliet 35K was down to $7 or something.
Yeah, you got a couple.
Been pretty low.
I want to buy 2,000 of them. I'm just not that liquid.
Get people gifting you $7 Van Vliets again, and maybe the tides will turn.
That's how I knew nature was healing. I got some Fred Van Vliet gifts. Yeah, let's see. So are we 6 of 6? We're all going for the hollow drop if we can get it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and someone was saying, I assume, Jack, I still think the plus EV or the pack will be pretty extremely plus EV.
Okay,
let's look at the previous ones.
For it to be plus EV, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be profitable, correct? Or that means every pack will have over 1,000.
No, those are different. Yeah, plus EV is different from every pack being profitable.
Well, so
it's surely
lowest-
plus. It's surely plus EV.
Right.
So the
right.
lowest
And-
price
and-
hollow is $1,700 right now. From
Yeah,
season two.
I think every pack will be profitable.
Yeah. Especially because these are the lowest price hollows, and a lot of them have already been used in challenges. Looking at the These are all going to be, for future challenges. Who are the challenge rewards? Yeah, Giannis, Simmons, and Tyrese Halliburton. Those are pretty solid challenge rewards.
And what do we think? Do we think it's going to have a similar effect on the market? Do we think we're going to see some undercutters here trying to get dapper balance and prices are going to fall further in advance of this tomorrow?
People are going to raise funds for this, right? I mean, that'll be interesting. And then what do you guys think will happen after we'll see how many people show up for the pack, and will we see the normal buying after the pack? Because that's the easiest playbook for anyone who's grinding is you don't sell when people are trying to raise capital for the packs. And then the people who don't get the packs, that's when you want to list moments for sale because people have capital after they didn't get the pack. So do we expect that same kind of routine? I'd love to hear Andy and Mike and Trey's perspective on that.
So I'll answer this. I had one other topic that I wanted to cover about this kind of restrictions and the overall strategy. But in terms of timing all this, I think it's logical to assume that in the lead up to it, people will look to the end of their bench, to the parts of their collections that they don't love and want to keep long term, and say, hey, this would look a lot better in the form of dapper balance to gear up for a potential hollow drop if they don't have outside funds that they want to put in. If you want to participate and you don't have $1,000 lying around, your only other option is to dip into your collection. And so naturally, I think that'll put some selling pressure on. And then very much to Pete's point, after the drop, the huge majority of people who missed the drop, assuming that as many people as I expect to will participate in the drop, are then going to have dapper balance, or a portion of them will have dapper balance, and they'll probably go shopping. And so I think Pete's timing is probably right. That's what's happened historically. But at some point, the market will account for that. And maybe upon pack announcement, the market will start falling because people will start to sell earlier instead of right before the pack drop because of these dynamics we're talking about here. And then potentially people will try to front run the post pack drop mini bull market, and the market should regulate itself.
Pete, I think we got to let you go, right? Because you have a meeting here, but we might still be going when you're done if you want to swing back later.
Yeah, no, and I got 10 minutes for sure.
Okay.
I'll let the guys know.
Okay, so my big question, Andy, did you want to?
No, I generally agree.
We just throw
I'm going to be pretty actively.
The chat said it like 100 times, so I just want to say, if you spend over $1,000 in the marketplace and held a moment, you're in also. They've wrote that like 100 times, so just wanted to add that in because we left that out. Yeah.
Okay, so my big question,
rewarding spenders also.
My big question is, do we think that putting restrictions on who can participate in the pack is a long-term solution? And my thought is that this isn't the solution. For as long as packs are as plus EV as they are, we're going to have problems with flippers. Most people who are buying the packs are going to be looking for money, not for moments. And I think the only way to shift to this being a collector's platform rather than a flipper's platform is for the pack expected values to be closer to the pack prices, so that it's not guaranteed money to buy it. It's actually, you're making a decision. Do I want the moments in these packs? I may actually lose a little bit of money on this, but that's fine because I want the Josh Jackson moment. I want the Trey Young moment. And I think that's a much healthier environment than basically saying, okay, we're still going to be shoving money down everyone who buys the pack's throats, but only some people can participate in this. And yes, it'll probably alleviate some of the botting and some of the multi-accounting, but I still don't think it's the healthiest environment. And a much healthier environment is to just bridge that gap.
Yeah, I'd love to jump in because I have a couple of thoughts on the broad ecosystem, and actually Mike's point is something I think makes a ton of sense and is a big part of my overall argument. So broadly, let's just start with Mike's point. I think one of the most important things for the success of Top Shot long term and just the whole ecosystem is the packs. I mean, someone needs to come on and be able to buy a pack. And the beautiful thing about a pack, and why traditional cards, like Pokemon, sports cards, anything else, is when you buy a pack, maybe it's neutral EV, maybe it's slightly negative EV, but you have the hope of getting something great, right? And I think that's Top Shot's biggest advantage, is that ideally with every pack drop, there's some moment or something that you can get that is worth way more than the pack that you bought, the lottery type payout. And I think Dapper and Top Shot really needs to focus on this across the board. They need to have packs. They need to be really thoughtful about the things that they drop having that lottery type payout. So anyone can come on, buy a pack, they get some moments. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, maybe it's great. There needs to be that like huge carrot where there's something that's super valuable within each pack. And I think that's the long-term success, to kind of your point, Mike, is that it shouldn't be flipping. It should be, kind of a neutral EV, or maybe it's like slightly positive EV because you're bullish on the platform long-term and it's going to appreciate over time to the whole experience. And right now, and what we've seen in the past is like just getting packs is just like a print fest. And part of the marketplace and just everything during these like crazy bull runs was that, you get moments, you get 10Xs and all this stuff. And obviously that's not sustainable. And I think that's a huge part of like the overall ecosystem now is people feel entitled to this like flip and get rich kind of mentality. And it should be about that. You should have to make smart moves. You should have to invest in the right players, the right moments. And that's what will ultimately pay off in terms of monetary gain. So I'd love to kick it back to you guys, but on the packs specifically, I think they should be neutral EV, but there should always be a chance of like an amazing pack. I think that's
if that's the case, though, then a huge majority of packs will lose money if you're going to drop a massive moment in there. And I think that's fine, but I think collectors have come to expect packs are plus EV, and then that changed it from a collector's game to a lottery.
How can they be plus EV long term?
No, I agree. It's not sustainable, and so I don't think restricting it. I don't think moving to essentially what's a pay to play model, and you can say, you're a collector, but at the end of the day, if you're a new person who joins tomorrow and wants to participate in the holo drop and you can't because of these restrictions, that's not a great experience. Like, why should some people not be able to participate in the drop just because, they're not established collectors? Established collectors means you put money onto the platform. It becomes pay to play at that point. And I think at the end of the day, go for packs. Packs are exciting. Packs are good, but they shouldn't just be free money. That attracts the wrong kind of people and not the people who build a sustainable marketplace and a sustainable platform.
Yeah. One last thing, I'll kick it everyone else. And last point, the plus EV spots should be going to NBA games, should be going to the NBA experiences. To me, that's the long-term, like huge bull case for Top Shot, is that so intertwined with the NBA. You should be rewarded for being an active participant, buying league pass, going to games. Like those should be the long-term rewards. Like that, if you're a Top Shot collector and you're at an NBA game and you're willing to pay money to go to that NBA game and buy beer or whatever else, that's where I think you should get like a plus EV moment. Like you're at the game, there's a moment from the game, you're in the raffle for it, whatever you want to put out there. But like those to me should be the clear plus EV, like collector's moment is being involved in the NBA.
Trey, you're speaking to me because I listen to you guys so that I don't have to think about the marketplace that much, because you guys actually get it 100% and know what's going on. Whereas I'm coming to it as a basketball fan. I'm like, I want to be able to get moments. I love my players. I literally like my kid will come and be like, get any new Top Shots? I'm like, oh, sure. Here's a Steph Curry that you literally love. They like to see the basketball as well. So yeah, to me, the availability would be a huge thing because that is not there in the trading card market right now. And if you're looking at it as a similar way, and in trading cards, you can get a pack, you might get an incredible LeBron in there. You just might. It might be worth something way down the line in the future. But good luck going to a store and buying a pack of cards. If you're able to go on Top Shot's website and you can get a pack basically anytime you want, you still might hit something that's crazy big. That's massive for the growth of the platform, just because people love to be able to be a part of something and to be in on the action and to experience the moments and to, just see the platform grow. So yeah, I think that as the EV drops on the packs, the availability will kind of pick up the slack, just bringing more people in and keeping more people involved.
Yeah. Andy, as we were kind of thinking about this stuff, there's a phrase you hear in markets, and specifically a lot of times in crypto markets, about shaking out loose hands, and that there's consolidating. Like, doesn't it seem kind of analogous here that the weak hands are the flippers and the people hunting for packs? That's the only reason they're in it. They come in, artificially inflate the market, and then when things aren't booming or whatever, or they're not cashing out, then they leave and the market kind of falls out from underneath them. But don't you think that consolidation is good long term? Like we ultimately want to get rid of those people so the floor is lifted up by the true collectors.
Yeah, well, everything we're talking about is like, how do we appropriately reward people who legitimately like collecting, like Trey was saying, and want to just have the moments because they like the moments. And those people probably are not as worried about the drops of the moments as people who just came in because they wanted to make some money and don't know anything about basketball. Obviously, like, it's not good. No one wants to lose money. I get that. But at the same time, like, if you're a Lakers fan and you bought a bunch of LeBron moments and you bought a fun Alex Caruso moment, you probably are a little less upset than if you just came in and bought whatever was there for a challenge and you don't know any of the players and now you like can't sell them. And it definitely, I think, in the long run is going to be good for the site to just continue to find ways to support and encourage people who want to collect the moments and build up their portfolio of moments and have showcases and get their, virtual thing to hang their moment on the wall and go to NBA games and show it with their friends. And as long as if they can keep building different things to do that, it's just going to be better in the long run.
Yeah. And we also should talk here. Part of this blog post here is about, I'll get it up on screen, is these rebound packs. So everyone who is in the queue for the holo drop that doesn't get one will be automatically able to grab a base set pack 2 from series 2. So that's a pretty cool concept there. Do
you think I should send them my spreadsheet so that they put only rebound moments in there? Come on, how good would that be?
Yeah.
How about a shout out for Sean spending $5 to let the people know that fact?
Yeah. No, that's very
much
nice.
appreciated. What a legendary chat member.
I liked Lou's comment that losing money is negative EV. I thought that was a good comment in the chat.
So, so a few people have asked. I think the most important reason to reduce the expected value of packs is that the only people who are going to buy packs that are 0 or even slightly negative are only slightly positive EV packs are people who appreciate the moments and are buying the moments to own the moments. And obviously there's going to be a marketplace.
And people who want to gamble.
Yeah, people want to gamble, which is fine, but not just people who want to buy and immediately send it to the marketplace.
Quick. And I got to bounce on this, but can we just talk about this? The gambling part is a rocket ship for Top Shot.
Yeah.
If you knew something, let's say you buy a pack for $100 and the EV was $100 based on the marketplace, but you had a chance to get a $10,000 pack or $100,000 pack or whatever.
I was just about to
Everyone is signing up for that over and over and over. And
so
over.
They have that. They have that already.
For the Masters this week, everyone signed up. They're losing 15%.
But they have that already. Like if you buy the rare packs and you get the number 1 LeBron MGLE, that's like a $30,000 moment. It's not an ultimate moment hidden in the pack, but it's a $30,000 moment.
You can't get it at any time. Which is, I was gonna ask this question, and maybe you guys can answer it for me. Top Shot holds $50 million in moments, right? What if they put MGLEs, 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 base packs?
They're not allowed to. According to them, I don't know why, but according to them, they've spoken to their lawyers about whether or not they can put different tier moments into different packs, and they say it trips the loot box ruling that the video games had in like 2017 or whatever it was, where the loot boxes were deemed to be gambling, and then there's weird underage rules, and essentially them putting more valuable tiered moments into less valuable tiered packs isn't allowed. And there are tons and tons of follow-up questions, but at the end of the day, they said they can't do that for one reason or another. Yeah. Obvious questions are, why can physical card companies do it? What are the actual rules? Which countries don't allow it? So on and so forth. At the end of the day, we're trusting Dapper by being on the platform. I trust that Dapper has looked into this and either strategically or legally cannot do it.
We did lose Pete. He has another meeting he has to do, but we appreciate Pete coming in frazzled, giving some mayoral comments and heading out. We'll catch Pete next time. And I will say, just because this just reminded me, we are going to get on a regular Club Top Shot schedule. We've been all over the map trying to schedule things. I believe we are going to settle into Tuesdays going forward. So we will have more details about that soon. We also have some other kind of fun announcements for the show that are going to be coming up as well. So yeah, stick with us, guys. We will be rocking here on a regular schedule coming up. But I want to talk to Trey for a little bit longer here before we lose him at 9. He has to go back into the lab and watch some basketball, Trey. But are you excited for the playoffs here? What it could mean for Top Shot, these MVP races, all of this stuff. What on the actual basketball calendar could we look forward to here?
That's actually a good point. We're kind of at the massive lull of the basketball calendar right now. After the trade deadline, after the All-Star game, after most of the buyout guys have gone to wherever they're going to end up, it's like bad teams are bad. They've given up. Nobody wants to watch them. Good teams don't want to play them, so they play shitty against them. The games are all bad unless it's like 2 playoff teams and it's a tune-up to see who's going to be good. So this is the most boring moments of the NBA season, no doubt about it. This is the grind of the season. But luckily, we've got an awesome MVP race going on. We're going to get a lot of players who have been injured or coming back from their injuries soon. So I don't know. The momentum picks up for the NBA in, a month out from the playoffs to begin with. So starting then, I think it's going to be big. I mean, people are going to be watching the games. More casual fans will be watching the games, tuning in, especially with the play-in tournament. People care a little bit to see that little bit of a race. Y'all were actually around for the playoffs last year. I'm interested to hear what you guys think is going to happen, but I don't know. I think all eyes will be on the NBA this year, and it's going to be a more standard playoffs than we've seen with the added excitement of the tournament. Compared to the bubble last year. So yeah, I'm always hyped for the playoffs. I'll be watching every single game, every single night, no matter what. But I also think, people are excited for the NBA to be back. We're going to have LeBron trying for another playoffs. Like, he's been out for a while at this point. So it should be exciting. It doesn't feel like there's a favorite right now. It doesn't feel like the MVP is totally settled right now. It's an exciting season in my book.
Do you guys think those injuries, because we had those injuries to both LeBron and LaMelo, pretty close to each other, and those were 2 of the hottest players on the entire Top Shot platform, at the time. Do you think that could have a little effect on, or am I reading into it too much that could potentially take wind out of the market sales there?
I think it's everything Trey said, which is like, we're just in a dead area. Then you're missing the top 5 players in the league, don't even play on national TV on a nightly basis. And someone noted, and I came from it in sports cards, this is the gross. Like, LeBron physical cards dipped 50%. Like, there's a massive drop off in this 6-week period. Buyouts are done. Trade deadline's done. Like, they're just sorting out the season.
Baseball is back. People care about baseball right now.
I don't know about that, but
love baseball.
But yeah, I think like you also have to take into account all those things. So maybe it added fuel to the fire. I still think at its core, major issues on the site, withdrawals, negative press, and a bear market. And those things just made it worse. But I do think that played an impact, but I am curious to hear what Andy and Mike say about what it looked like in playoffs. I'll give just a quick hint from physical, and we can see how it compares. It's kind of this sell the news or sell the hype that we always talk about. By the time like Bam Adebayo had gotten to the finals, like the conference finals was the highest his price was. And like people were like, oh, LeBron's going to win that 4th title. Like his price is going to skyrocket after. But that was actually the peak was before game 1 of the finals even started. So just be conscious of that, because the second it's hype in game 4 when Donovan Mitchell is 50. But when they're eliminating game 6, you kind of lose any time to sell off of those people. Then you go into a bear off season.
Yeah. So in the playoffs last year, it was a very different site. Obviously, it was a lot less people, a lot less basketball fans, and so take that all with a grain of salt. It was a very reactionary market. Anytime there was a big game, and obviously there were a lot of big games as well during those playoffs. You had like the Murray and Mitchell battles back and forth and stuff, and like that was all really fun, and it definitely influenced those guys' moments. In general, what I've kind of said before, and I still think no one's really said I've been wrong, so I'm going to keep saying it, is that the top 3 players generally, like, the guys who are really making a significant difference night to night, for the teams that made it to the conference finals or further, definitely saw a premium on their moments. Like Michael Porter Jr. was trading a lot, Tyler Hero as rookies who were making it far. It was interesting with the Lakers, kind of just LeBron just overshadows everyone. Other Lakers players didn't really appreciate, even like Anthony Davis, I think was pretty undervalued through a lot of the playoffs. But it was definitely very reactionary as far as night to night. I think it was just a lot more eyes watching each individual game, and there's less noise going on of, there's not 15 different games in a night or something. But it was fun. It was a fun time.
It was, and the one thing I'd add is we often compare, or people have compared Top Shot to a player stock market in a way where if you think a player has different circumstances, is going to get more playing time, might get traded, you could buy their moments and hope that they trade up over time. In the playoffs, what's an exciting concept is there are definitely people out there who will pay a premium for moments of a player who just won a championship or who won an NBA Finals award, and you don't know who that's going to be when there are 16 teams left in the playoffs or 8 teams left in the playoffs. You're watching a game and suddenly there's a huge comeback and one team advances who you didn't expect to advance, and that obviously drastically increases their chances of winning a title if they advance when you previously didn't think they'd advance. And so you're watching and exciting things happen, and market moving events happen, whereas in the regular season it's probably not going to make a huge impact on your overall perspective of someone if they have 32 points one night instead of 22 points one night, whereas the playoff games themselves lead to different results for the players on the teams and the team, the overall team performance, and it's a higher stakes part of the season, obviously.
The sports card charts, that's a lot of the Instagram content. I still remember when Kawhi and PG and then Giannis, they both got bounced in the second round, they didn't make conference finals. The drop-off was insane because it was kind of priced in. But Trey, if what Zion is doing over the last, 3 weeks was happening on national television every night, he would be people don't even realize what is going on. Good. He's 25 tonight at halftime. It's if he did that in a playoff game, which also matters because it is a higher stakes game and people give more credit to it. But Trey, you watch a lot of NBA. We always talk about no one, a lot of these people don't watch NBA on a nightly basis, but when you throw it in front of your face and then it's all even people who are on Twitter don't realize that the majority of people aren't on Twitter consuming basketball content, Top Shot content all night long.
People are sleeping on Zion still, despite the fact that he's one of the most hyped guys in the past 2 seasons. We're literally watching Shaq right now, except for he dribbles the ball up every single time and he plays point guard.
He's gonna jump out of the gym.
I think he'll lead the league in scoring within 3 years. I think he'll be an MVP multiple times. It's so crazy. Every young prospect comes into the league and everybody's like, why don't they just go to the rim every time? Why don't you just go dunk it every single time? And Zion does it and everybody's like, this is boring. This is boring. I can't stand it. It's anti-big man bias. It's everywhere. It's in the media. It's on Top Shot. The good thing with Zion is that he is slowly but surely putting together a massive highlight reel. His first season was pretty slow because he didn't play very much and was dealing with injuries. And then he finally came back this season, took him a 1 minute, put it all together. And now it just looks like they'll probably fall short of the playoffs, unfortunately, but that won't be the case forever. So I don't know. I love Zion. I think he's going to be one of the 2 best guys in the league in pretty short order.
And he has one of the few rebound moments in the game, right?
He does have a rebound moment, I think.
So one where he runs down the court afterwards, right, and makes a dunk or a layup or something.
Yeah, I gotta check.
I think so.
Come on, Trey. Get on your spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's right.
It's ridiculous.
Well, and you talk too about Zion, just his stock on the rise, and we also talk about does the value or does the inherent goodness of the moment matter? I mean, he is a highlight factory. I mean, his base level block where he just volleyball spikes that, and I think there's how many other players in the league could do that? I mean, I think he is going to produce many Top Shot moments over his career that people just want to have, not because of the name brand of Zion, but because the moment is just really fucking cool.
It's the player I look at every day, and I think I need to this is the guy I want to go back in on. Not only is he, and we talk about long-term bull cases, Series 1 rookie. You look back 40 years. If you think this guy, if you think NFTs, digital collectibles, Top Shot, and Zion is a 3-time MVP, and if he ends up in the right situation as an NBA champion and then NBA Finals MVP, it's the most ridiculous scenario ever. But like I've said, it is tough to know what's coming with this platinum, with this legendary, with everything that could change. But S1 is a little more locked in. But yeah, Zion he's out of this world. It's crazy.
Well, let's talk about a few other. Are there any other guys going into the playoffs who what I was thinking a bit as we were just talking about this. What players is it a material difference to their legacy if they win a title versus if they don't, as far as like where they are right now. It's like the guys who immediately jump out to me is like Giannis has a chance to win his first title, and that'd be like a serious, like legitimizing him as a particular type of player. I think Jokic has a legitimate chance. Then like James Harden could win his first title, and that'd be really interesting. And it doesn't count as much because of everything that's happened this year, and do people actually like give that credit to him?
Yeah, so someone just commented with one I was going to throw in, which is CP3. That's an interesting one. I was going to mention Harden, as you said. I mean, it's a legacy thing with the playoffs. Just the higher stakes is massively important and market moving. If some of these guys get a title, I mean, I think Giannis might be the best answer here. If Giannis loses in the first or second round,
Gonna get eviscerated.
It could get ugly. Could get ugly.
Bad. No way that happens. Harden to me is a guy that it's similar to Zion. He had such a distasteful style that people really still hold the Houston stuff against him, the style of play, and obviously the way he ended up leaving. And, like James Harden is one of the 3 best players in the NBA every single year. And every single year here's why he doesn't deserve the MVP. I know he's leading the league in scoring and assists, but here's why he doesn't deserve the MVP. And there are a lot of reasons you can do, but he could easily get a championship this year. The Nets look incredible. There's not a lot of Kyrie Irving on Top Shot, I feel like. Kevin Durant seems he's kind of in the same boat as James Harden. His past has kind of reflected where people hold him amongst the greats, even though he's going to retire as one of the 10 best guys when it's all said and done. It's hard. It's easy to get lost in the emotional part of like how you feel about the players and what you've seen them do throughout their career without having the foresight to say like, yeah, but this guy's going to be a legend of the game and he's going to be beloved at some point in time. Like Charles Barkley was pretty despised a lot of places around the NBA when he was playing. And now he's like an elder statesman of the league and you can't imagine the NBA without him.
And no championships to that point.
Exactly.
Allen
right.
Iverson, same thing. So we get very caught up in titles, but then when you look back, and it's tough to look forward 20 years
totally
when we're checking the marketplace every day.
Well, it's also interesting though too, because we're talking a little bit about just real life basketball impact, how valuable these guys are. It's like stylistically, it doesn't matter. But then we've seen this, right, in the NFT world. Like we are talking about aesthetics a lot of the time. I've read threads of people arguing about punk traits. Like I've read all this. I mean, we are going down to just personal feelings and aesthetics about things, and those things actually probably do translate to Top Shot. Like if you don't like the aesthetics of a player in their moment, you're not going to be as hype on that. And if that translates to a large swath of people who feel similar, you probably see those prices impacted in the market.
People in the chat are saying Kawhi Leonard. That's a perfect one. The guy's got 2 titles and 2 finals MVPs already. And because he's a super boring guy, that's just what everybody thinks about him. It's like, okay, Kawhi Leonard's just going to go out there, give you 30 points a game, get you to the playoffs. You might have a great chance at winning a title, but boring. And that's certainly reflected in, his general standing amongst the league.
It can all change.
Can it all change? I was about to say, I don't think it can change.
Oh,
what can Kawhi do?
It changed today. The viral tweet, someone surfed up Kawhi's early day tweets, and all he was tweeting about in 2011, 2012 was Alvin and the Chipmunk movies. And that just completely changed my outlook on Kawhi. And the more retweets, the more fans of Kawhi. I think we went through it one time and we were guessing he follows like 4 or 5 people. And we were playing a game like, who does he follow? So he definitely has a thing within itself.
Let's I want to get Trey on his way. I know he has to go into the lab, has to grind some film, get some hot takes ready for the No Dunks podcast. Trey, we always appreciate you swinging by the club, man.
Thank you so much for having me. Do you guys have any winners or losers of the NBA weekend?
Yeah.
You got any? Come on, Pete.
Go for it. No, go for it. I don't.
I'm trying to think. I didn't actually get to watch much basketball this weekend.
The winners are LeBron stans, but also LeBron haters, because the narrative that they beat the Nets without their 2 superstars. So when LeBron and AD come back, people are like, oh, they're going to kill them. But we'll see.
Okay, the correct answer is RJ Barrett here. RJ Barrett
you mean Tyler Hero's father? Ja Morant's baby daddy?
On Friday evening, the Knicks played the Grizzlies. If we remember, Ja Morant was picked one pick before RJ Barrett. Disappointing for Knicks fans at the time. It was a 2-man draft. To get the third pick is not great. Watch the game, Trey. You'll get all the information you need, all the content you need.
I saw Jack Settleman saying that this is the best draft class of all time.
No.
RJ
He
Barrett.
said top 3.
I want to actually ask you that because we've been talking about it, so I want to hear your opinion. I said this 1, 2, 3 in order. 1, 2, 3 has the best potential to hit on 3 picks. And then people responded, 03, but Darko missed. And same with 94 or 84. And they missed. Who was it? Sam Bowie?
Sam Bowie.
Yeah.
That's the tough one.
And the other class that people said was it's like Simmons, Ingram, and Jaylen Brown. But potential-wise, Zion could be a Hall of Famer. It's very early, obviously. Morant won Rookie of the Year. And RJ is the best Canadian player we've ever seen at age 20.
Come on.
Let him have it.
Honestly,
Let
you
him have
sold
it,
me.
Trey.
You sold me. I'm in. This is the best 1, 2, 3 in NBA history.
There we go. All right. You made the part now.
Trey, let's get into any other plugs for No Dunks for your Yats. Are we gonna get Cannonball season coming up here? What's the deal?
That's a great question. Yeah, Yats are hilarious. Got a Yat. Instant buyer's remorse when I went to tweet it and I had to delete 4 tweets because I couldn't get this thing to show up right. I was like, okay, all right, nice.
Hey,
All right, so I just type it in.
We're so early.
We're early on the Yats. Buy it once, own it forever. But then I saw a Grateful Dead basketball hat, and the Bears were dribbling basketballs. So I was like, a basketball on the Grateful Dead? I got a Yat for that. Tweet it out. Boop. This weekend, I catch a huge fish. I got a Yat for that. Tweet it out. Boop. But I will say, a little tough from mobile as well. A little tough to Yat from the mobile. But we're early.
So early, yeah.
I need help. I do need help brainstorming a No Dunks Yat. Because,
I was about to say.
The circle with the slash through it, that's a no.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
I don't know about dunks. There's like a waste basket. It's okay.
Yeah.
So for next time, in 2 months when we're talking about the Yat bull market, we're all able to tweet our Yats, no problem.
The thing is,
the next one.
If you are bullish on Yats, you do need to buy a new one each day, which I have been doing so far. But yeah, Trey, everyone check out No Dunks. Check out the Top Shot Hot Boys. All the good stuff. You guys are going to lead us to the promised land throughout this NBA season. We always love checking in on you guys. So Trey, you guys are welcome in the club anytime you want.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
All right. Peace.
See you, Trey. I want to do 2 things. One, I want to even the haters, the trolls. I know, Pete, you're smart with the blocking, but I think let's just acknowledge some of them and give them their time because we don't want to act like we're ducking. And but before we get to that, I want to bring up withdrawals, and I actually want to pose a question. I've been able to withdraw since January. I've taken $5 off the site to test it. Andy can't, like he said, unless he freezes himself, will not be able to withdraw at the current rate until he's long gone.
Yeah, it's gonna. So I'm currently in the midst of a withdrawal, which has been going on for about a month.
But I'm curious from the general chat and then also hearing from you guys. Like I said, I've had withdrawals. I have no interest in withdrawing. So is it that people want the feeling that they can withdraw, right? Even if they're not going to, or is it that, or secondly, is it like, no, I actually have a ton of Dapper balance I want to take off the site, and they're never coming back, or they just want to feel like they could take it off the site? Like, what actually is it that people are so on the withdrawals? Is it just a feeling, or is it like, because to me, at least from what I'm seeing, it's not like I saw a ton of people who put in $1,000 they didn't have, and then they got caught in like a fuck, I can't take my money off, I need this to pay rent type of situation. You know what I mean? So I'm just curious, like, what is it from the chat? And then what is your guys' opinion? Like, is it just a sense of, that freedom to do what you want?
One thing I want to say too, real quick, that and I'm not an apologist for Top Shot. I don't even have withdrawals myself. Would I like withdrawals? Yes, but I think people have to realize the whole reason you're able to buy NFTs with your credit card without having to move around any crypto is because they have all this KYC stuff in place. That's the only reason you're legally allowed to do it. If you wanted withdrawals, you would have to do it like you would on OpenSea or any other kind of decentralized exchange where you're going to have to go and get crypto there yourself. And we wouldn't have everyone here on Top Shot if it weren't for the direct credit card payments, which require this added level of security so they don't get sued out of existence.
But
so
I do think, yes, it's a great point. But I do think we've done enough explaining for why. They didn't have the team. Like, we get all that. But seriously, like, I see in the chat, and it's just like, I just want the ability to withdraw. I have no plans to withdraw. You know, like, people are saying, like, I don't, like, there's nothing that the only people I would feel bad for are the ones that, like, they really do need the money. And then I see some people like, well, I took profits, I want to diversify. That's cool too. But, like, if it's just from I want the feeling, I totally get it. But I think we just need to recognize, what is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go, Andy? Or?
Go ahead.
Okay, so my view on the withdrawal thing is I can understand why it's frustrating for people. And I don't want to diminish from that. Having said that, I think there's a very reasonable explanation for it. And I think the reason that doesn't sit well with people is there are a number of explanations there. I think people are overall frustrated right now because account values are going down. They can no longer complain about site stability issues because that's been fixed. And so they pick the next low-hanging fruit. And to Jack's point and to any reasonable person's point, anyone who's sitting here and saying, shit, there's $1,000 on the site that I need to pay rent, to pay medical expense, to do something else, I sympathize with that person. Anyone who put their money onto the site before it was made extremely clear on the website that there are withdrawal challenges, I feel for that person. Anyone who put their money onto the site when it was clear in bold letters right under the deposit button saying withdrawals are uncertain at this point, the expected time is 6 to 8 weeks, there's large letters in the corner that say beta, I don't feel as bad for that person. I feel like people are frustrated because there are other aspects of crypto and NFTs and equities that have been doing well, while Dapper Balance is an idle asset. I think if you're sitting with $10,000 of Dapper Balance, you can't withdraw it, and ETH goes from $1,500 to $2,200. Obviously, everyone's going to tell themselves, if I were able to withdraw Dapper, I would have done that and put it all into ETH. Of course, because ETH is now up 35%. And so people see other things running and they're upset. I also think there's a kind of negative choir who's looking for reasons to dislike Top Shot. And this is a very easy one. It stokes debates. It stokes responses. You get people fired up. You get the exact same debate every single time. Why can I put money in, but I can't take money out? They told me 4 to 6 weeks. It's now taken 6 weeks and 1 day. And I hear the frustrations, but they're reasonably explainable. Dapper is in beta. The user base expanded by 100x in a 2 or 3 month period. They didn't have the support team available. Anyone who's been anywhere near a startup company knows you don't build your team and have 4 times the number of employees you need for current services just in case it blows up and grows by 100 times. They weren't prepared. I don't know if it's reasonable to have expected them to be prepared, and they're playing catch up right now. Now, having said all of that, which sounds like I'm putting all the blame on the people in the user base, where I think Dapper has really, really, really screwed up and continues to screw up today is on their communication side of things. So people either don't know you can't withdraw, don't know the steps it takes to withdraw, don't know why their particular account can't withdraw, don't know why their USDC was rejected, and then separate and aside from that, and this is now segueing to 8 other things, and I'm trying. This is my State of the Union monologue. So I'll just
go
run.
for it. Nah,
okay. So my biggest Dapper complaint and recommendation to Alan and Roham, who I'm sure are watching right now, is there are way too many points of communication on Top Shot. There is Discord. There is Jacob on Club Top Shot. There is Roham responding to people's responses to someone else's tweet. There is Usman in an office hours. And for any reasonable person, which is 99% of Top Shot, doesn't watch Top Shot 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can't possibly keep up with this. When you first join Top Shot, there's not like a great one-page frequently asked questions. Here's where you should go. Here are the obvious issues. Here's what everyone talks about every time. There are withdrawal issues. Here's the current situation. Here's why it happened. Here's what we hope happens in the future. Reminder, this is still in beta, so you may not be able to get your money out. Before anyone does anything, puts any money into the site, that should be loud and clear, even more so than it is now. No one should be surprised by that. Second, a question that comes up all the time. Over that, go. I'm going to go for a while. So,
No, I was just going to say that was what we had said the very first time Jacob came on the show about withdrawals. I was like, why isn't that in bigger print?
Everywhere.
Right,
it should be everywhere. It should be in Roham's bio. It should be everywhere. There should be no one who's surprised. I can understand people being frustrated about it, but there should be no one who's surprised about it. Then this is a laundry list of items that every single Twitter conversation seems to be about. The base the base moments of Series 1 that haven't been released by Top Shot. What is their plan on that? If they don't have a plan, that's okay. In huge letters somewhere in some central depository where they can release it all at once. We have not released these exact Series 1 moments. We do not have a plan right now. Here are 3 things we're considering. Here's a feedback box if you have other ideas. And that's it. Just make it known. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who's buying or considering buying or who's just a casual observer that there are 524 LeBron OG bases that haven't been released. Every day on Twitter, there's the exact same exchange. Oh, this hasn't been released. What are they saving them for? Are they saving them for influencers? Are they going to burn them? We don't know. Alan chimes in occasionally, and it's just difficult to find that information. Then Eastern Conference and Western Conference burns. That's another one that comes up all the time. Challenges and master challenges. This is, again, on the communication side. I don't think anything should be a mystery. I think when if there's going to be a master challenge, it shouldn't be speculation. No one should be betting their moments that there's going to be a master challenge, or there was a rumor, or someone on Discord who seems to be connected said there's going to be a master challenge, and yet that happens because there's not great communication. It should be upfront from the beginning. There will be a Cool Cats master challenge the way there was. There won't be a Seeing Stars, or somewhere up top with challenges. Expect there won't be a master challenge unless we say otherwise. It shouldn't be a guessing game. There should just be full information and let the market flow. If you start trying to control the information and leak and drip information, it may seem fun in the short term, but it's a completely slippery slope, and it makes for a bad user experience and makes for people who 3 days after an announcement, they find out what happened and they've missed out their opportunity to sell a moment or to buy a moment low that they needed, and it's a bad experience. And so I think channels of communication.
Is there a suggested channel for you? Like, what do we think? Do you think email is the one that would hit the most amount of people? Because I see blog posts. I also think there's a major issue. I've noticed this because of like what I do on social. Like my Snapchat following has no clue what's going on Twitter. And I think because we're all so on Twitter, we think Roham has 40,000 followers, right? It's 6x the amount of active users. So like, what do you think that channel is?
Well, to me, it's not the channel. I mean,
is it on the site? I'm asking, like, do you? Yeah.
I'm saying it should be the timing and the consistency of the messaging at the same time. It can go out on all those channels. Right. Put it on the blog, put it on the tweet, put it on the website all at the same time. But Mike's saying it can't be fragmented. You get a little bit here at 2:00, and then tomorrow you get a follow-up blog post, and then in office Discord hours, then you get the full picture. It's like it needs to all come out at the same time.
Right, and I think there should almost be like a designated time at 6 p.m. Eastern, whatever, 3 p.m. Pacific, whatever time you want, at any time. Just say, in this 1 hour slot, we are going to be releasing the next week's worth of potential pack drops. Not potential, the next week's worth of pack drops. There's going to be this on Monday, this on Thursday. So that anyone who's not at their computer right now, who's asleep in Europe and didn't know what's going on, has no idea this holo drop is coming. And this holo drop being announced is market moving news. I think that anytime there's market moving news released, it needs to be announced in advance. In this 1 hour block, we are making a significant announcement in a central location. And Jack, I don't know the answer to the question. I do think that the website itself has to be integrated in some way. Either it's a huge banner across the top that you can click to a Twitter post or click to a blog post, anything, but it needs to be just one location at like a preset time in advance. And like, I think there are a lot of weird growing pains that are going on. And I do think it's reasonably explainable by its beta. they have a shell of the size of a team they would need for this kind of user base and this kind of demand and the kind of publicity they're getting. They're catching up. I think they're doing their best, but there's easy things they could be doing to make it a more enjoyable user experience while they're working on those things behind the scenes. And for me, a huge portion of that comes down to just communication. There shouldn't be people asking these questions over and over and over again. There shouldn't be. Another example is Roham, Usman, and other people have large accounts on the website. They have large accounts, and everyone says, "Oh, Roham's insider trading. Roham's trying to, make a quick 10 million on the side while rug pulling all of us." And there should just be a on this same simple document on the addressing all common questions. Roham has a X $1 million account per evaluate market. Here are the plans with that. Is he allowed to sell? Is he not allowed to sell? I don't know the answer to that. I can spend more time on Top Shot. I do not know the answer to whether or not Roham could sell a moment theoretically. I know he said he can't, but is that in the bylaws somewhere? I don't know. And just other examples of these questions that it's frustrating. People come on and new users say, "Wait, is that like Roham, the CEO's account?" Every single day it comes up the exact, and it's front and center on Evaluate Market. And so I think that's my biggest complaint with that, but I think it's holding them back in a massive way. It's making it for a bad user experience right now.
I do want to bring on, I mentioned earlier at the top of the show, we're going to have 3 of the guys from the Club Top Shot Discord coming in here, and I want to get them in on this conversation. So I'm going to bring in Jason right now, goes by Lundar in Club Top Shot Discord. He filled out a form today, let us know kind of where he was at. I thought he had some interesting thoughts. So Jason, I see you got your drink. Welcome to the club.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing
nice
good, man. Yeah.
Great. This is a lot of fun. A lot of pressure for
our withdrawal monologue
guy like me. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is awesome. I think this is in kind of an interesting time to for everybody, you guys who are major collectors to the little guy, to decide like, okay, what's happening next and which way is Top Shot going. So Pete, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, for sure. And, you were still in relatively early. You said you joined January 20th.
Right.
But yeah, we wanted to kind of get, thoughts from everybody here and getting different perspectives. So what is your kind of personal state of the union as far as how you're feeling about Top Shot, where your level of engagement is, whether you're buying, selling, holding, all that good stuff?
Yeah. So I mean, I think most of us that have been in it for a while are still really bullish, right? Still early to the NFT space. Obviously really only the major sports outlet that has NFTs. So yeah, of course we're bullish. It's hard to come in and see your accounts basically triple, quadruple, or etc. in the first month and then head the other direction. But no, I think most of us are still bullish. For me, the biggest question is, and you guys are kind of hitting on it already, is yeah, I might be bullish, but what's the long term for Top Shot, right? Because I think you have 2 different sides, right? One is they've said they want to make sure that prices are really low for the average person to jump in. And we've seen that, right? We now see $5 moments all over the board. But I'm sure, especially for you guys that have more vested, I'm kind of curious too, is what are they going to do to keep the collectors in? And is it even possible to say, hey, we want to make the little guys super happy and have pack drops all the time and low, prices on challenges, but still say, hey, if I own a hollow, it's going to go up X%, or if I own an S1, it's going to go up X%. So I think that's what we're all a little bit wondering right now is where they're going to land. And, MBL, you talked a little bit about the communication side. And I remember Roham in a Q&A. It was pretty interesting. He specifically said that he didn't want to talk about their vision statement, right? And I think that's kind of a big miss, because if we knew, like, hey, we're really going to cater to the little guy, we want everybody to get a $3 moment, we want everybody to get a pack, well, that's awesome, right? If that's their vision, that's super cool. But maybe that's going to keep me from dumping a bunch more money in the site, because I know that now. So I think that's the balancing act we're all seeing.
Yeah, and I think that's the hard thing too, because people want to be able to interact with it in different levels. Like I like being engaged with it, during the pack drops or going after challenges, while tough one for Top Shot. How do they keep the kind of bag holders who pack their bags and now still want to be involved with the people who aren't as invested long term. And I don't know if anyone has the perfect answer, although it probably goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is the utility of the moments. Once everyone feels like there's ways they can use these moments, that pretty much unlocks it for all collectors, I would think.
Right. And I agree. And I think, obviously we're pretty active in your Discord, Pete, and you've done a great job setting that up. I think most people would say that they've gone from trading, because I think a lot of us that came in early, we tried to trade our way up, right? We got a pack drop. Maybe we were able to collect a couple $100 out of it. We bought our way up to better moments. That's a little harder now. But, so I think a lot of us have become longer term holders, but we're still trying to trade a little bit, right? Maybe we had a pack drop. There's so many great third party valuation systems out there now. So maybe if we see a moment drop at a particular level, we'll jump in and try to flip that. But I think most of us have gone from trading, and as values have sort of stagnated, I think a lot of us have gone from trading to maybe being long-term holders. Maybe that changes if we get that next bump up. Hard to say.
Yeah, Jack, do you have any thoughts on that, of how you can appeal to all the different people wanting to interact?
I don't know if I worry or if I'm just waiting, but I think, like, as bullish as I am, I want to be clear, like, you're betting on a lot, and you're also betting on a little amount of people that are making really big decisions. And I think Roham's extremely intelligent, and I think a lot of the people at Dapper are. But, like, there's one way that this doesn't work out, in my opinion, and it's they make the wrong decisions. And I think, like, we try and act like every decision they've ever made has been great, and then it just, like, some things haven't worked out. They've fucked up. Like, they have made, they're not perfect. They're not running, like, they're not 100% on this. So I just want to throw that out there, and, like, we still need them to execute. Now, we don't have the answers. They may not have the answers. And that is why I think we're going to go up and down throughout, especially if he's serious about building 100+ year product. Then what's happening between January 20th, when Lundar joined, and April 11th, it's 3 months out of 3,600 months, So I just, like, we have to be patient with the whole thing. If they say they want to get the early collector in, like, I don't think I can make those decisions. And I think that they have the most amount of information, so we just kind of have to trust them. But I just it could work, it could not work. You kind of have to put, your eggs in whatever basket you think. We all think it's going to work, Like, I do think they'll get it right. I do think they'll figure it out. There's too much money and smart people tied with the NBA. You're betting on a good bet, but, like, there is a chance it fails. I think that we never talk about that, but there is that chance.
Yeah. And I think too, because Lundar, I feel like you had a similar progression to me. You came in for the packs. It was new, as fun. And then you kind of developed your strategy, and you're like, oh, I didn't necessarily love this moment I bought early on. Now I kind of have a picture of my strategy, what I'm going for. And I think that's the track that Top Shot probably ultimately wants most people to be on, where you get intellectually, curious about this stuff and you approach it, with more of a strategy. And I think we're still so early in the ecosystem, so many sites popping up now that are doing really good data analysis, that are helping make people more informed about the rarities, the moments, the series, all of this stuff. And I think as people get more educated, I think more people will take a similar trajectory as us.
Right. And so, I mean, I followed Pete, frankly, I followed you from the Joel Holka to your YouTube stream, to the DFS space, into Top Shot. And so I think there are a lot of DFS type folks here, right? Like, we want to be able to trade, we want to be able to speculate, try to make smart decisions and have it work right. But if it's ultimately going to be where they're really catering to making it so widespread and so open, where everybody gets kind of what they want, I don't know exactly how that all works. So Jack, great point. It depends on their decisions. Now, I kind of am excited the fact that MJ loaded millions of dollars through his buying group into Top Shot, because Jordan's going to have a lot of business partners around him, really smart people. even if he's calling the shots, he's going to kind of have an executive suite of people around him that maybe some of the missteps Rohan has made over the next year, 2 or 3 years, if he gets the right leadership team around him, maybe those don't happen. So he still maps everything out long term, but they start to think more about supply and demand and how do we, as we're getting new people in, how do we still make it profitable? Because if our moments stagnate or continually lose value, they're going to lose people, especially once the NHL comes on board, Major League Baseball, football, or whoever else. So,
yeah. I mean, you talk about making, right, like the differences in who they target. And we've seen it in this market. Do you target the big spenders who kind of, put a ton of liquidity and money in? Or do you try and get, 10 million people who play around for $50 or $100? And I don't have much experience in building markets, but from my understanding, it can't be easy to build. And this was Pete and Jeremy's concern when I mentioned the video game aspect. It's not easy to build a market, for high tier spenders and low tier, because if the low stuff fluctuates prices based on the video game, then how's that affect the upper stuff? And we've seen it with the challenges. It's like they're like playing around with this market that they expect to know, but like no one knows how anything's going to react. So it may fall into a situation where it's like they need to decide, is this like sports cards that are just digital and like big money goes in, their store value, they're this? Or like Pete talks about, it's like you want to go to games and get rewarded for that. Yeah, it's a nice perk, but does that impact pricing? And then it's just a weird market with a video game and activations and store value. So it may fall into a situation where they can't please everyone and they're going to have to make a decision, and that could, change the outlook of Top Shot forever. I'm very curious, Mike and Andy, like, do you think they have to choose a path? Do you think they can play to everyone? Like what is the long-term thought there?
Andy, you go. I've been talking too much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. And like, honestly, it's not my area of expertise to like comment on the growth of like collectibles. That's not something I know a lot about. But in my totally like uneducated opinion, I would imagine that at some point they're going to have to make some type of decision about what it is that they are really going to value and be like marketing. But I don't think that necessarily, depending on what they decide, doesn't necessarily mean that other, like micro communities inside of Top Shot can't pop up. Like, Magic the Gathering or something, I think is mostly played, like people who buy those cards are mostly doing it to play the game. But then there's another group of people inside of that who buy them because they're collectors. And so like it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be one or the other. It just doesn't mean it has to be whales or something for people who, want to put in $100 and kind of just like play a more fluctuating market. But I do think they'll have to at some point like kind of choose a lane and focus on that. Unless they just get so incredibly massive that they can do everything at once. But that's not something that I would bet on.
Yeah. We're going to bring in Austin here as well. Another guy from the Deposit Kingdom Discord. Austin, welcome to the club, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Good. Okay. Looks like we might got to get your video and audio synced up here.
I think we're good. Maybe now.
Can you hear us? It's okay.
He might have been refreshing. Can you hear us, Austin?
Maybe jump out and then come back in.
Yeah, we'll get you covered here. And I'm just gonna let people know here too. We got Austin. Alex is gonna join us as well, and we will finish the night ripping packs. I know some of us have our pre-order packs locked and loaded, so don't worry. It's not just doom and gloom and serious talk. We will lift our glasses and get crunk ripping packs in the club. Austin, do you have us now?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Now we got you. Awesome. Well, welcome to the club. Similar to Lundar, you joined late January. We're all giving our thoughts on how we're feeling tonight. This is a real, communal platform tonight. Everyone getting to come up to the podium. So what's on your mind here with Top Shot these days?
Oh, sorry. You cut out again there.
It's okay. I think we got you back now.
Okay. Yeah, so I think for me, I started off, like Lundar was saying, kind of just getting my toes wet, buying packs, trying to trade up to players I like mostly, things I thought were fairly significant, I guess, in terms of moments. And during the kind of the run up, tried to kind of consolidate into more longer term, I guess, moments. And then from there, I think since then, I've kind of got burned a couple times, like trying to momentum trade or like day trade or whatever. And so that's kind of been frustrating at times, but I think now kind of taking a step back, it's not as bad as it, not all doom and gloom as it was before.
Excellent. I'm going to give you the same treatment I gave Ja Rule, Austin. I think your audio might be on coming from your earbuds or something, maybe even switching your mic to just your default computer speakers might actually be better here.
Okay.
And yeah, everyone in the chat, just relax, okay? Everyone just needs to relax.
Everyone's so just like ready to pounce on anything. Like I feel like we talked through withdrawals, and now it's like maybe that was an explanation. Now it's like Austin comes on. His audio is not perfect because he doesn't create content for a living.
At least we got a dog on the stream there.
Yeah, Lundar, who was the dog on the stream?
Let's get a name.
That's Bailey.
Bailey. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Andy, are you a dog? I know you're a cat guy, as over your shoulder can attest to. But
so I actually, growing up was always a dog guy. Had 2 dogs. Generally considered myself not a cat person for a while, and so Allie, my girlfriend, adopted those cats while we were together, and I was like, didn't really care that much, but they are the loves of my life, and they're amazing. And so now I'm a cat guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
For most of my life, I've been a dog person. I still love dogs. I would like to get a dog at some point when I don't live in a tiny box in a city.
Well, you will forever be synonymous as a cat guy once you are in the Wall Street Journal holding a cat. Like that.
I can't not be a cat guy at that point.
Just like MBL is a sauna guy from his photo.
Chandelier guy, apparently.
Yeah, no, the chandelier is definitely part of the personal brand. They really should. If I was the New York or Wall Street Journal photographer, I would have staged something that made it look like you were swinging from the chandelier. That would have been my artistic direction. All right, we got Austin figuring stuff out here. Alex, I will say you hop on as well. Alex was actually the one who suggested this idea, which I really like, to bring in some of these guys on. So Alex, you got that link. Hop on here, and we can talk some top shots here.
Yeah, as he does, I do want to mark down Steven's comment about Harold Bob and that. So I'm curious about everyone's opinion because he has a lot of respect, obviously, in the space.
There's some great questions in the chat right now.
I can chime in about the Harold Bob stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's a guy who I very much so respect his opinions. Been a big fan of him every time he'd like go on the Bill Simmons podcast and talk about stuff. And obviously he's a crazy smart dude. Some of the stuff that he was saying was like just incorrect. He was saying that Top Shots weren't NFTs. That's wrong. NFTs can be centralized even. NFTs, I could make an NFT contract where I control every single one. They're still NFTs. That's just not how that works. But I think he's a kind of a decentralization maximalist for the most part. And I think he did a really bad job. I mean, he just like kind of changed what he was saying as the conversation progressed. But I think really at the end of the day, he just isn't comfortable with the like custodial nature of the site. And that kind of seemed to be what he settled on after kind of walking back some of his other comments. I think also though, it's very hard for someone like him, and he's probably very used to having conversations like that on Twitter where people are just berating him, because that's how anonymous random people on Twitter like do conversations with people. And there's Larry agrees. And so I think that probably he was also a bit defensive and maybe talking a little bit more exaggerated than he would if he was on this stream talking with us. And that's just kind of like how Twitter gets sometimes. So in the end, I think he actually I think some of the points that came up in the threads about the potential lack of scarcity in a lot of moments is true. I think that there's always a risk with buying a 50,000 mint moment or something. And he eventually did say that if he was buying stuff on the site, he'd want to buy the much rarer, more limited moments. But I'll say like some of the stuff he said was just wrong. And Roham came in and had some good comments about that. And at the end of the day, like, Top Shot's not going to be for everyone. And if every smart person on the internet thought that Top Shot was the next best thing, then it would probably not be a great time to put your money in, because there's not that much to gain if everyone's doing it.
Yeah. We're going to bring Alex in. What's up, Alex? Welcome to the club,
guys.
my man.
Hey, Alex.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you were the one that had this suggestion to get some of the other collectors from our, dare I say, community to come on here. And so I appreciate the suggestion. And what was kind of your thought process? What are kind of the things you've been thinking about that you wanted to hear from other people like yourself?
Yeah, I just first of all, thanks for having me, guys. Big fan of the show. But yeah, I know obviously, you can look up people's accounts. A lot of you guys have pretty big accounts. We're in pretty early. So I just thought maybe me and some other of these guys who probably are on the smaller side, although I'm still have, I guess, based on the percentage size of your account, if you believe Evaluate or whatever, like I have a decent sized account, but it's not like millions of dollars or anything like that. So I just thought it'd be cool to kind of get a different perspective from people and kind of our experiences. So I joined kind of Bales +3, I'll call it, like 3 days after his article came out. I'll admit, like, I thought it was a joke. Like I was like, oh, this seems silly. Like I'm laughing at people. And then I was like, all right. But I'm like, I feel like I kind of missed out on crypto. I'm a huge sports fan. I'm into gambling. I'm into art, all these kinds of things. Like this is literally the perfect intersection of everything. I read his article and like I couldn't create my account fast enough. And when I joined, like you could actually go on and just buy a pack. And I literally bought one pack. And obviously in retrospect, wish I bought a lot more than that. But pretty quickly, it started to expand. And I mean, I've made money. I've had a overall good experience. But I mean, I kind of echo what Andy said. It was kind of like more fun for me at first, like just kind of when it was like, oh, am I going to get a pack or not? And if not, whatever, like you could go on the marketplace and get like relatively cheaper moments than you can now. And then it just kind of started. It's like more money got involved, more people got involved. And it's just like, I just felt like we got out ahead of our skis a little bit. And, some of the, I'm optimistic on the platform, cautiously maybe. But I'm still very optimistic. I have some complaints with like when I felt like All-Star Game weekend kind of shifted my mindset a little bit. I feel like they kind of missed pretty big there with maintenance, and they released like a lot of moments, which I understand they were trying to get more people who are new, and like friends of mine who I was getting involved. They're like, what the hell? Like, I can't even buy a pack. Like, why'd you tell me to sign up? So then they're able to get a pack, but then there's maintenance and they can't buy it or sell or whatever. And that was kind of for me when I became like bullish, but like not super bullish as I was before. Also like I was doing Cool Cats, and like I feel like kind of what you guys were saying about the communication thing. If I knew like this rare LaMelo of 2000 moment was coming out, I would have not been like holding a $10,000 Luka that I got for free. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. I just felt like if I knew these things, like, I guess that's one of my complaints, just kind of like, as maybe the communication, maybe things change as it goes, that like some of those kind of things are what kind of shifted for me. That said, like, I don't want to keep going too long if you guys want to.
No, you're good. This is what we're doing, man.
All right, cool. So like I definitely like in March, once I was able to sell moments, like I've sold some moments, but I'm kind of looking at it as like I was trying to consolidate my account. Like I want to take a little bit of profits. Just it's like a fairly meaningful amount of money for me. So I was like, I want to take some profits, keep a bunch in, but like kind of consolidate. So now I've sort of feel like I have a strategy, whereas before it was just like get packs, buy stuff, whatever. And now I'm kind of like, all right, I want to get LeBron moments, I want to get rookies, and I want to get like Series 1, like I have a bunch of like metallic gold, stuff like that, where I just kind of consolidated my account down to like a lot less but more valuable moments. So I felt like I sort of had at least some strategy going forward, and so.
Yeah.
I think a lot of great points overall. One that stood out to me was about the All-Star weekend. I think a lot of people had a sour experience.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to wrap my head around, I don't know the correct answer here is, and if I were in a boardroom with the Dapper guys, I don't know what I would say. But the challenge is you kind of said two back-to-back sentences that I think represents the paradox they're in right now, which is you had friends complaining they couldn't get packs, and then you had other friends complaining there were too many packs coming out and too many moments in oversupply. And the question is, how do you rectify that issue, and how do you bring balance to the market? And part of the problem, I think, is that prices did run up really, really quickly. And so the only way that people can access moments in any reasonably accessible way is through getting base packs or cheaper packs. But then as soon as they release those, they sell out right away because the market ran up really high. So therefore, all the base packs are plus EV. And so the only real solution, at least in my view, is they're going to have to pump out a ton of base packs to regulate the market and to make it so that not everyone needs to buy a base pack in order to access moments. There are $2 and $3 moments in the marketplace. And what that means, though, there's going to be pain and moments are going to fall. And I think there's going to be supply coming, maybe until the packs don't sell out every time. I don't know if they'll go as far as that. I don't know what their goals are now. It's all speculation. I've got no inside information, but I think people like the experience of opening packs, and they want to be able to come on the site and open a pack. And the only way the packs aren't going to sell out is if the market cools down a little bit, and you can either buy packs cheaper or not every pack is slam dunk plus EV. And so they're either going to have to keep packs inaccessible and ungettable and lottery based, or cool the market down. It's kind of one or the other. I don't know if there's an in-between solution that doesn't hurt existing holders, but also allows packs to be available to anyone who wants a pack.
Another thing too, I think about all of this, like we're trying to solve, it almost feels like we're trying to solve this problem to where we all feel so engaged that we're on Top Shot like 6 hours a day, which I know lots of us were doing that early on, but could it also just be that it's okay if this is something that we put in, a few hours a week checking in on? Like, does it have to be something that we are all massively obsessed with around the clock? Like, that's a pretty lofty goal.
Well, that's what I was hinting at, was saying it's okay to not do a Z race for 2 days, or Trey to go fishing. On the flip side, we did just kind of agree that we're going to do this show every Tuesday night. So at minimum, yes, we still need to have a few hours a week dedicated to Top Shot. But one of the things that I think, we do a lot of looking back, right, and trying to project out the future. But what I hear and what I've been clear on, which is the market and the activity and Top Shot as a whole can still get back to where it was, however you measure that, 50 million in one day, excitement around it, without those prices returning. But a lot of people mentioned the momentum kill on All-Star weekend, right? And I think now I would just love to pose, and I think it could be a fun brainstorm, is like, now that they've talked about having marketing money and they have this money, right, they will have to create that excitement again. So what does it look like to actually get back to where people care about the product? Do they have to wait? Is it through a commercial? I'm curious, all you guys from, the Discord members to, the guys on the show, like, what can they do? Because the prices don't have to get back to where it was, but the excitement level, I feel like, does need to return in some form or fashion to where, we do want to be excited about Top Shot. So how do they get there?
Austin, we're going to throw that to you. How does Top Shot get there?
like what would you want to see? Yeah.
Okay.
What would make you excited about Top Shot again? Like, outside of prices? I think that's the question. What is,
Yeah, I think some sort of engagement would be like a day-to-day thing. I think it's like when I first joined, I'm not like a huge NBA fan, but when I first joined, I liked how I got more into like listening to podcasts and like reading like the athletic news and stuff. And you could kind of day trade, like, not speculation, but you're like, oh, this guy's like, I don't know, like Christian Wood, somebody I have in my account where he was injured, but he's playing, you see the Rockets kind of tank when he goes down, and, he's out for a while, and you can kind of buy low. And then ideally, in the future sell high or something like that. So I think getting to some sort of at least like weekly thing where you're at least rewarded for being knowledgeable about what's going on the court. I don't know the answer to that, but I think that's something I would be interested in. So
that would be terrifying for me.
Skill over luck, I think, is exactly what you're saying, and why people have such a problem with the pack flippers, because it's luck they come in, versus like you said, the beginnings of the show, we were giving out good buys based off player performance, based off MVP picks. So yeah, I think that's a great point. Jason, Alex, what do you guys think?
I mean, for me, I'm hoping it's the playoffs, right? Because people really start to focus on basketball. So you'll have like these little bumps. So like think of a game, last night or night before, where Levine and Tatum, they both went off,
Tatum,
right?
yeah.
50 points, right? So there was actually a bump in their prices. So I'm hoping that for basketball fans, when the playoffs come around, if there aren't 100 challenges and pack drops and all those things, that at least there's that little sort of like DFS short-term play type thing where, hey, I'm betting on this team to make a run. And, sort of like the Suns. So maybe I'm going to buy a few more Bookers, right? Because I think he can really light it up in the playoffs. So I'm hoping there's some of that gets true fans or true speculators or whatever back in the market instead of the, and I think the whole idea of like the pack flippers, like I think it's poorly defined. So like when Jacob had I think it was a office hours or whatever, he was talking about pack flippers as, hey, somebody that has multiple accounts and all the stuff that we hope we don't deal with. But I think for most of us, especially like Pete in your Discord and stuff, what we look at the pack flippers is they have no vested interest, right? They get their pack, they sell their, whether it's $9 moments to $30 moments, they get their $100, and then they're out. Like for me, that's who I don't want to be who really drives the market. I want people that are following this stuff, that are researching, that are staking real dollars in it. And so, yeah, for me, I hope it's the playoffs.
That's also a good point too, because I even remember, the late January, the Cool Cats Challenge, right? It was the whole community was talking about it. It was the one thing going on, and we all were putting our collective energy and thoughts into that. You mentioned having so many so many things going on right now. It feels like we could have 10 simultaneous Top Shot streams tonight, and they'd all be talking about something different. And I do think maybe that idea of focus on something that we can all rally behind, because ultimately it is the hype in what we're talking about that is going to drive interest outside of this. And you just don't have, how much chatter is going on about one specific thing right now? You just don't see it.
Like, do you guys think playoffs and everyone says we need a bump, right? Like, what does that even mean? We need a bump in prices, users, right? Like, what does that mean when everyone?
I think that's a code for I need to see a bump in my evaluate.market.
Right? And I think like that was exactly what caused major issues with the badges, right? Everyone was like, oh, we're getting the bump, and then it bumped for like an hour, and then it tanked hard. And it was just like, you can't just make people, everyone can't just be richer tomorrow, like, so I guess that's kind of like why people will say it's a Ponzi scheme, right? Because it feels like everyone's like, we just need more people. We need more people, right? I don't think that is necessary. More people would be great, but Andy, I don't know. What do you think?
So I think that sometimes there's like a fine line to walk between like some of the like charting of moments and all that kind of stuff, and like comparing each moment to like a stock market type of thing, because it's just not liquid enough. But at the same time, the Top Shot marketplace as a whole is also just a market, and markets go up and down. And when markets go down, people get really upset in crypto and everything. I've been a person who has bought and held and traded crypto for a very long time. And when the price of Ethereum goes down heavily, there's a lot of people who are like, it's all over. We have to scrap it up. We're on to the next thing. It's all over, guys. And that's just kind of part of markets as well. So while I think that it's very fair to say that people are maybe less excited about this than they are right now, people were less excited about Bitcoin when it was at 3,000 than they are right now. And that's just like kind of part of the game. And so like trying to define specific things where it's like, oh, once we get these new users, then it's going to go up, to me just feels like wishful thinking. Markets go up and down, and at some point, if I had to bet, I am making a pretty big bet, the market will go up again at some point. When or how or why, I think it's kind of just silly to try to guess. But I don't think that we can just like pick one particular thing and say this is going to be the time, because if everyone was able to do that, then this would be way too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. While we're talking about markets, I would just wanted to jump in and like, I agree. The liquidity is obviously not totally there yet, but one thing that would just be, I would like to see is if they could have a bid and an ask. Like sometimes I'll list like an MGLE and it could be the low ask for like a week. And I'm just like, I don't have any clue if the floor's $500 lower, $100 lower. Like it would just, if it's going to be a real market, like I would. Really
I brought that up, and it was either like Alan in the chat or Jake. I don't know, Mike, maybe you know more. They actually said they can't do it. Or maybe that I'm hoping it wasn't based off like, because I proposed that too. It's Star Stock does it.
Right.
It's my favorite thing. You know the true value, right?
Yeah, and I could throw my bid and let it sit, and it's
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. That's the truest market that we could possibly have. And I'm also curious because there's some auctions off platform going on right now that are going wildly under. You know, like I think the LeBron from the top dunk is like number 3 serial is at like $90K bid. And I don't think it's going to make it to the reserve price. It's not announced till tomorrow. But like, yeah, how confident are you that you could sell a bunch of your shit today for what it's even valued at? Like, what if we had true values right now and it was highest bid? And how many people would also just like the first second they saw a bid, even at, 20% lower, would snatch that up, right? So I'm with you. I would love to hear them like kind of talk about that. And another thing, Mike, do you know why haven't or are they choosing not to raise the 250K limit?
So I don't know the deal with the 250K limit. Historically, when they pushed it from 10 to 50, then from 50 to 100, then from 100 to 250, they've said that it's sort of an issue with their payments provider, who I think is a company called Circle, and that it's not as straightforward as them just going into the code and deleting 250 and writing in 500. I don't know detail on it, but it's somewhat complicated for them. I feel like at this point, we've seen a few sales north of 200,000. I think it would make sense to increase the limit. I'm not sure how to think about that and the impact on the market. We did see after the cap went from 100 to 250, some bigger sales. It's also a question of, does that encourage off-market transactions? And there are lots of interesting questions there. I mean, should they cap the marketplace fees at a certain level? Should you still be paying 5% on a $250,000 transaction? It's of course going to incentivize off-market transactions. There's a lot of money to be saved by doing that. And to your point about the bids, so if you had asked me first, I would have said that I have an inkling of a memory of Alan saying that they can implement a bidding system and that they're going to eventually, but it's not a priority for them. And this goes back to my previous rant and monologue. We shouldn't have diverging views on that. There should be just one answer in some central database. It's a question that comes up every day in one form or another. What's the bidding system? Will there be a bidding system? Can we do the stock X system? Can we do another one? There should be an answer there. Even if the answer is we don't yet know, we're thinking about it. That's an answer. It's something that we can point to and say they haven't yet said what they're going to do. They don't have a plan yet. And I just think that the communication thing can really help people feel better. Yes, it's something we're conscious of. We know about it so that, Alex and Austin and Jason don't come on and say, hey, a great idea would be bidding on it, and hope that Alan hears it. We know Dapper's conscious of it and working on it and thinking about it, but they're prioritizing withdrawals because that's a bigger pain point right now.
Andy, I feel like I just realized I don't think on the show gotten to let you talk about fractional a bit. And I think that's also, I don't know what kind of functionality, if any, that you guys would be able to have for Top Shot, but I do think allowing people to have access to owning some of these higher end moments is something that could also be exciting for a lot of people coming in the market who are like, I have $500. I don't necessarily want to buy a Series 2 MGLE, but I'd love to own a stock of a LeBron Holo or something like that. So talk to the people a little bit about fractional and if you guys have any intentions to get in the Top Shot space. Oh, you're muted, Andy.
The Jennings
call.
move. Nice.
I feel like sometimes I breathe too loud and there's feedback in my mic, so I try to mute myself when I'm not talking. But yeah, it's a good call. I think, and thanks for letting me talk about it. Shill my bags. So just for anyone who's not aware, the idea of fractional, ownership or fractional buying or fractional investing is like pretty straightforward, but it's just breaking up any one particular thing, which like we're focusing on as NFTs, into a bunch of just normal tradable tokens that are all fungible. And then you can own a percentage of an NFT as opposed to having to own the entire thing. So what I'm working on is a company called Fractional. We're initially going to be supporting Ethereum-based NFTs, but I have, obviously lucky enough to at least have some level of communication with Roham from being in Top Shot for so long. And so I don't see a world where we don't support Top Shot at some point. There's a lot of development overhead that comes along with that because of it being on a different blockchain. It's not going to be like an easy task, but I don't see Top Shot going anywhere. Obviously,
I'm fed up, but I'm fed up with fractional. Are you in beta or not? Like I'm done with it. I need it now. I'm pissed.
It should be soon.
I'm already sending angry tweets already.
Oh, lucky for you, we don't take credit cards or we don't really have any payment rails, so you don't have to worry about your withdrawal problems. But we currently don't have a support team, so it's going to take a while for us to get back to you. But yeah, so I do think that a lot of that stuff it'll unlock some really interesting price discovery for some of the larger assets, just because the whole idea of right now you have to, if you want to own, well, you can't own a LeBron Cosmic right now basically, but if in a world where there was a high enough market limit where there could be a LeBron Cosmic up for sale, it gets really hard to kind of appropriately price and find what the value of those moments are, and so it's a lot of a guessing game, and being able to have a little bit of a slightly more liquid market of normal fungible tokens for these assets would be really interesting.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very exciting. Jason, Alex, or Austin, do you guys have, like right now, do you have a watch list? I know you guys, a few of you mentioned that you're trying to kind of consolidate into maybe bigger moments. Is that kind of where you're at right now, of trying to ladder up into some premium things you want to hold for a really long time?
Yeah, when you guys were talking about Zion earlier, I've been monitoring pretty closely on that. That's probably going to be my next purchase. I think it was a week or two ago I bought back in on like a whole bunch of LeBron stuff. I look at him as like the safest, like if you believe in Top Shot, LeBron's such a huge component of that I've reinvested a lot in him, and I'm looking to get probably Zion right now. So
there you go. Jason, similar for you?
Yeah, so I did raise enough for the pack, the legendary pack that's coming out tomorrow. So I've got 1,000 sitting in the Dapper balance. If I don't get it, I'm probably looking at rookies. Being kind of a Minnesota guy, looking for Ant-Man if I can get him on a good dip. Otherwise, I think like what's his name? Out of Memphis, Bane is kind of undervalued. So I've been trying to scoop him up a little bit too.
Unbelievable shooter.
Yeah,
he's like top 5 in 3-point percentage. Yeah,
Desmond Bain.
He's out of the rookie class from 3-point range. For anybody that's taken more than like 50 attempts, I think he's second or third. And then even regular field goal percentage for a 2-guard, he's at like 45%. So yeah, guys, he's not explosive, but guy can shoot. So
there you go. Austin, what about you?
Yeah, so I was selling a little bit since like the All-Star game. Trying to, I guess when they dropped the like seeing stars and stuff, I had a lot of guys I thought their 15K would be a good investment before they made the All-Star game, and then they dropped all those All-Star game moments and just kind of tanked the 15K. So I kind of got out to try and maybe get into like the Seeing Stars, the All-Star Game moments. But now that like things have continued to drop, I'm getting into like higher range stuff that was like not able to get to previously, and don't really. I'm just holding. Don't really plan on like buying anytime soon because I don't really see the prices running up like super quickly. Maybe if they start moving up, then I just saw Jack turn his head quickly. But yeah, so I'm just holding. If something comes into my price range that I really like, then I'll pull the trigger. But yeah.
Today in the Discord, I mean, you know, Jack is in there a decent amount, but you know, he wasn't active in there, and someone literally mentioned quickly, and within like 16 seconds, Jack had responded, just like manifested out of thin air. I mean, Jack,
you're trying to say that like if I'm not constantly posting in the Discord, I'm not bullish on the Deposit Kingdom.
No, I'm just
like
saying,
I can't just observe and like the community, but I need to be posting constantly.
No, I'm just wondering, do you have a notification when Quickly's name is typed in there?
Yeah, I have NBA Top Shot Quickly bot for all purchases, no matter the price. No, I monitor. I get like, I mean, I don't know how many Discords you guys are in. I'm in 40, right? So like my phone is constantly Discord stuff.
Sick
so
brag,
I read
bro.
it. Is that a sick brag?
It's such a sick brag, dude. I'm only in like 11. I'm just always trying to keep up with Jack.
I just got to remove myself. But yeah, I was quick on the trigger on IQ. And I was just thinking about it in my head. Like, I remember tweeting that Top Shot cost me so much money because they didn't release quickly with the first batch of rookies when like you could still get those guys for a few $100. And then he comes out, he's 1,500. I was like, I could have bought 5 of them. Well, I can buy 5 of them. So I actually think it's like a tough situation for me because I'm like, all right, now I can go do what I wanted to do originally. But then I think on my original thought, which is like, but if quickly MGLE comes out, like I'm going to want that. Or if a legendary, like I'd rather save up for that. Or if more come out in the pack. So
speaking of packs,
I love IQ though.
I say we rip some packs here. We've had a great evening. We are going to rip some packs. Anyone who has a pack in the oh my goodness, Jack, what is
Jack.
going on?
What is happening?
What is
Are we breaking TOS?
Look at this guy over here.
What is this?
Oh, win packs. He's going with
win pack. Very nice.
the double costume change. I didn't
change on screen.
I didn't even know they had the one with the little collar. That's so cute.
Right?
Yeah.
What's this called? It's like a baseball
ringer.
And it's got the sleeve. I really got to lift because this is supposed to be tight. I think I even ordered a smaller size.
I got someone that can be your trader.
I gotta say, his comments have been top notch.
Yeah.
I would like to see the bit evolve, have a little bit more depth, but I do appreciate
in its infancy. Like he's in the middle of like he was funny, and then like you're like you just said the same thing like 6 different ways, but then could be funny again. We'll see.
Well, he's still in the dugout of his bit.
Yeah.
He's still in the dugout workshopping.
I'm just worried he's never gonna get out of the dugout. Okay, let me share my screen here and we'll go around and rip some packs. But I think everyone knows what time it is. It's time to get hype. Yo, what up? It's DJ Pete Overzet. Welcome to the club. We didn't think things were gonna get popping tonight, but it's about to get lit. Behind door number 2, it's a 3-pointer. 13-25, Kevin Durant. We're going to get a LaMelo. We're going to get a Luka. We're going to get a LeBron. Victory reveal. Let's go. God damn it. I don't need another layup. To the window. To the wall. The De'Aaron Fox stripped down my ball. 293 assists. Everybody get their drinks. Let's get a cheers tonight before we open up these nice packs. Cheers, fellas. Thank you, Austin, Alex, Jason, for joining us in the club tonight. I am going to open my pre-order base pack here. I saw someone got 3 LaMelos in their pack the other day on Twitter.
Yeah.
So wait, what are the big pulls here? I know there's the Trey Young Kobe tribute I saw some people talking about on Twitter. Are there any other particular
Don't we still have some of the rookies out of 4K?
Yeah.
We got the Wisemans and stuff in here. But I'm just kind of here more for the community, so I don't really care about what's in the pack.
Someone pulled 3 LaMelos, and then there was an even crazier one. Someone pulled a number 1 Bridges with another rookie with another one. It was nuts.
All right, we're back. Pre-order, base set, Series 2, release 24. Peter Overzet here. Give me a number, Alex. Give me a number.
3.
3. Behind door number 3 is common 22760 Devonta Graham jump shot.
Those jerseys are nice.
That's not a jump shot. That is not a jump shot.
I'm just reading it.
I know. I'm saying, like, what are we doing here?
State of the Union, Club Top Shot naming conventions. We have to get this fixed.
We have to.
All right.
Once they fix that, that's the only thing on this pack.
Full signal.
That's the bump.
1 or 2?
Let's go 2.
2. Behind door number 2, it is coming 212. Damian Lillard.
Wait, that's for the win, Pete. Look
Yeah,
at
that's a
this.
sweet moment too.
Wow.
And that's your boy Trey on his Bulls.
That's not a 3-pointer. That's a game winner.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh baby, look at that.
Is that the first kiss on Top Shot?
The first kiss on Top
Oh, we
Shot.
need Kerby back on. He'll tell us.
Who's gonna do the kiss analysis that we're all waiting for? Jason.
Jeff Jones.
Jason, give me a number.
What up, Jeff?
Gotta go one.
Give
now.
you a number.
How do you want to open
It's a bit. Behind door number 1, common 1038.
Ooh,
The
Alex.
dunk.
Very nice.
Bag.
All right. Oh,
That's not a dunk.
It's not?
It's a glorified layup. He didn't even touch the rim on the way down.
The assist was better than the dunk.
did he touch the rim? No, that's a layup.
It's a layup. There's so
You know
many
what?
players.
You know what?
Misprint.
They're misprints though. More valuable.
Beautiful.
Bro.
Beautiful.
That reminds me of the Dwight Howard dunk in one of the dunk contests where I think the Superman cape one, he threw it into the hoop.
Yeah.
Come on.
Can we lot in things? How many people know about, like, remember the early day misprints that were pumped because everyone kind of knew? So it was the Zion. What was it? Marcus Smart.
Smart.
Yeah.
And
Marcus Smart is like, I think his is like an actual, like some of them have like spelling errors and things. Marcus Smart has Jaylen Brown's information on it.
Yeah. Like, how many people do you think even know about that who joined post New Year's? I
don't know. Not enough.
How many more cumulative packs do we have here? I want to get this because I know
I got a fuck ton.
I have a few, but my question is: Do we think we should like answer a few more questions? I feel like it's the. I know it's not as exciting as PAX, but this is the State of the Union, and I don't know if we've
Mike. Get on your chandelier. Take your shirt off, man.
All right.
Oh, I feel like
I'm not as jolly as I normally am.
Questions that you want to answer.
Yeah, what do we want to talk about?
just get it out of your system, Mike.
Well, I don't know.
Should
we give the chat like 30 seconds to ask one more topic?
We can do like rapid fire in between some packs. Yeah.
Don't worry.
I just feel like this is like the State of the Union. People are a little upset, a little bit anxious, and I don't know. Is there any questions?
You're saying Pete opened the club too early.
We've been going for 2 hours and 10 minutes here.
I'm just asking, can we give the chat like 30 seconds and just say if anyone has any very pressing questions right now that we can potentially answer? Well, we have our 3 club VIP guests on.
I think that
Willis, we just want packs. If we just want packs, that's fine.
Mike, I am good for a reason. I kind of have my finger on the pulse of this chat. I know what they want. They want fucking packs. Alex, do you want to share your screen with us?
Yep.
Okay, I'll allow this question. Mike, when are you fighting your arch nemesis, Carlini?
Honestly, as soon as possible. What a piece of shit that he got the 89. The last minute, fine. But the 89? What a piece of shit.
Yeah, I should mention, gonna do...
Why is Kevin Knox in the fucking basketball game?
What?
Do you even know who Kevin Knox is?
No.
Okay. Does Kevin Knox have a
basketball? I just buy moments.
Does Kevin Knox have a top shot, Mike?
I hope he never gets one.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does, actually.
Wow. Talk about floor moments.
All right.
All right, go ahead. Wait, do we
DJ
have sound?
We're about to find out.
Alex, do you know Chrome Tab?
I
share audio.
I haven't done it before, but I think,
wait. If you didn't, if you selected it.
Yeah, you would know.
I selected.
Yeah,
like
okay. All right. So you're good. It's not until you hit open. Yeah.
I don't think we're good.
No, we're good.
I don't think we're good.
We're not. All right.
We're not good.
Unshare, reshare.
Unshare. So you did the Chrome tab right, but there's a little box that says include audio. And honestly, I'm glad you forgot because every single show I want to be able to say this at least once. It is part of the Club Top Shot drinking game.
All right. Stop screen.
I'll put this comment up. But here's the thing. I'm a true collector. You know, they're these flippers that are NBA fans. I'm here for the right reasons.
The community.
Oh.
What are you watching, Jack? Fortnite?
I'm watching the Knicks. We blew a 14-point lead to the Raptors without Fred VanVleet. If they have VanVleet, I understand.
Go off, King.
Without Fred VanVleet, I just don't know what's happening.
How we doing, Alex?
Have you tried the Tyler Herios or whatever?
No. Maybe I should do a stream where I just eat an entire box.
Just an ASMR Tyler Heri.
Crazy enough to do it. That sounds like an off-season activity. Alex, where's your screen? Oh, you have it. It's on.
Yeah,
it's my bad.
Good.
On me. Okay. Yes. Good.
Good. All right. Cool.
What's up, Kevin Knox?
All right. I'm gonna start with box 2 because I have 2 recently purchased man's coins. All right.
Oh, who's the man?
Did you get your physical man's coin yet?
It should be here tomorrow. Oh, Kyrie.
Oh, Kyrie.
Andy's favorite player.
Wait, don't tell me they said jump shot for that.
Yeah.
It's a jump shot.
What the fuck? They have a floater tag.
Do they?
I mean, the man jumped, Andy shot. So.
Do they have a floater tag? Isn't it tagged as a floater or it's not? Maybe I'm wrong. I just knew that the play was a floater, but I guess.
I don't think they have a
jump
floater
shots.
tag.
Yeah, I don't think we have. I don't think we got a floater.
All right.
Ooh.
Okay.
Justin Holiday.
Deal.
That's not a steal, that's a dunk.
It's always it's always nice to get one of 3 brothers. I think that's the only triple brother. Oh no, there's the Antetokounmpos.
And the Porter Jr.
No floater tag. Misinformation on the stream. But they should have one.
Here we go.
All right, come on.
Good. Something good.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Little
Jamal
joke.
Murray.
Oh, all right.
I like Jamal Murray.
Fun fact
He's been playing
about
well.
Jamal Murray
Or Kentucky.
is
Let's go.
Jack, I'm not letting Jack tell
We
this
booted
story.
Jack.
We can't do. We're not letting him tell this dumb story. You're back, Jack. I hope you got it out of your system while
No,
you
I was
muted.
gonna say, fun fact is he has the second best Instagram live ever on the platform behind Paul Pierce. So
Yeah,
that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah.
What is his Instagram live? What's the content?
Mike, don't fall for this trap.
Wait, you think you're an
Wait, Mike,
NBA
you don't
fan?
know?
Yeah, how are you guys giving me?
I
shit?
literally don't have an Instagram account.
You didn't have to have an
Oh,
Instagram
yeah,
account to
yeah.
know this happened.
All right. Let's
When
hear
you're
it.
old, when you're older and more mature, we'll tell you.
When 2 people really love each other.
He took Top Shot to a whole nother level.
All right. Let me go to the Google machine.
Please don't
Not
share.
safe for
Please
work.
share
Do the
stream
private
with the
window.
audio.
Look at the share screen.
You gotta go private window.
All right, should I share my screen?
Thank you,
Oh,
Bob.
he's got a sex tape.
Yeah, but it was on IG Live. That's what's great about it.
Does anyone know if Pierce Moments mooned after his IG live or do they tank? Because God, what a performance!
How are the chart bros not charting movements like that? I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, Taylor, I saw you in the chat. I needed a blog post about that yesterday.
Yeah, come on, Taylor. You exposed Vegas Dave. It's time to expose the Paul Pierce market. All right, who's sharing their screen? Let's keep ripping here.
I'm trying to. I just have way too many tabs open, so I have no idea what's going on. I'm just very disoriented trying to find the right Top Shot tab. So give me a second here. I'm going to close out of all my other Top Shot tabs because at any given time you need to have 4 different tabs of Top Shot open on your computer screen.
I have a question for you guys if we have time.
Yeah, do it, Austin.
I was just curious what you guys think about like S2, like in the future, S2 relative to like current season versus S1, if that makes sense. Like, will there be like a disconnect between S1 where that's like kind of the Genesis like set, and then S3 is or S4 or whatever is like the current set, and then do people just kind of skip over like what's in the middle, or what do you guys think?
It's a great question.
Thank you for asking a question, by the way, to validate my suggestion.
Yeah.
Answer the question, Mike.
Answer? Okay. So first, if I seem a little foggy, I'm now about 12 hours after my second vaccine shot, so I'm about to pass out. And
I thought it was 12 seconds into watching the Jamal Murray IG Live.
No. I haven't watched that yet, but I will. So it's a great question, and the short answer is I don't know. I think S2 has some interesting questions here. S1 and S2 are the only 2 seasons available, obviously. I think that people do view S1 as kind of Founders Series, Genesis Series, whatever you want to call it. That it's the first one from an interesting season to a pandemic-interrupted season, a LeBron championship season. So I think Series 1 is viewed as a premium series. We don't know if Series 2 has small enough edition sizes to stand out versus Series 3, Series 4, Series 5, whether it's kind of a silver medal to Series 1's gold medal, and then Series 8 it doesn't carry as much weight as Series 2, or whether Series 2 might be bloated right now because it's the only alternative to Series 1. And if you don't want to pay the prices to get to Series 1, but you do want to participate, you buy Series 2. And if you want to have 15 moments to participate in the Hollow set, either the cheapest moments are in Series 2. And so anyone who just sorts by cheapest available moment in the marketplace, I just want to try this out, buy Series 2. When there's Series 3 available, maybe those moments are Series 3. But also at the same time, Series 1 is very, very expensive, and Series 2 is, I don't know how to quantify expensive here, but it's less expensive than Series 1. And so you could argue there's more upside there. And so I don't know the answer. For me, I like the security of knowing that Series 1 is a closed box. We know exactly what sets there were. We know exactly what the challenge rewards were. We know everything that happened in Series 1. And Series 2, we don't know what sets are forthcoming. We don't know what edition sizes are going to be, what players are going to be there, how many LaMelo Ball moments there will. And so it's harder to make decisions, but difficulty sometimes breeds opportunity like that. Maybe people are missing something and there's uncertainty. Series 1 is probably a more efficient market than Series 2. And so there's ups and downs with inefficiencies there. And so I don't know, in short.
Yeah, it really is going to be interesting because the physical card market, anything outside of the rookies, it's pretty much useless in the physical card market. Even LeBron stuff, Luka, Zion, Giannis, like year 6 or year 12 or year 17, 18 of those guys is like pretty much cardboard trash. So it will be interesting. I think you're making a bet if you think Series 2 holds value on a couple of things. One, like you mentioned, it's the only stuff you're going to be able to acquire, right? If you come in here and you don't have a ton of money, it's the next thing that you can kind of get in on. 2, utility. So could they make it interesting? You're a collector since day 1 or day Series 2. Do they benefit you in that sense? So I think that you're also potentially making a bet on if there are 5 million people, then Kevin Durant's moment to 7,500 is hyper scarce. In the grand scheme of things. So I think you're kind of wagering on those 3 things. But yeah, what happens in the offseason when they release run it backs and Series 3 moments start popping up? Like, do people care about Giannis Series 2 versus Series 3? It's not his rookie. It's not first. It honestly wouldn't shock me if all of those became like floor moments, not Luka, whatever, MGLEs, but like you already see, LeBron has moments that there's 35,000 of, and what's that price at now? Like $90 or $80 or something. So I think that stuff could easily start to drop because it's the only thing that's available.
All right, we're going to DJ Andy here.
All right, I believe I have the sound checked.
I always root for Dante, DiVincenzo or whatever.
Big ragu.
I need a big ragu drop from Andy. Here we go.
All right.
Should be Larry on the ones and twos tonight after his epic performance from the Cat Tower.
Yeah, is he there? No, he's gone. I don't know where he went. Hopefully he's asleep.
Here we go.
All right, someone give me a number.
3 says Jason.
All right.
Common 16024.
Oh, rookie.
Right.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
take it.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Little Denny action.
Look at that. Just so quick on the trigger. Now I'm going to let us see the replay. Whoa, double Denny? Or did you go back?
No, I want. After you talk shit, I
blinked.
figured out.
Yeah, I needed
Look
to
at
see
that.
this one.
That's a real dunk.
Oh, that's a dunk.
All right. I'm going 1. I'm feeling it.
47-45.
Jokic.
Hey,
Right.
Joker.
Okay.
All right.
That's a stick.
That's a nice pass.
Yeah.
You guys are so nice to not bring up the MVP stressor.
No, I was
Don't
gonna
do
bring.
it.
I
It's
was
fine.
100% gonna mention something. Finish
Go
the
on.
pack. Finish the pack.
All right, come on. Ooh.
30,000. Jared Allen.
Bro.
Oh.
Okay.
It's his first
Wow.
one.
That's a
on
nice
the
block.
Cavs.
Yeah, I'm trying to see it.
Is that the net? Who is that? Reggie Perry? That's not a real person. That is. I've never.
You don't know who Reggie Perry is?
What number?
You
What
don't even
number
follow
does
the
he
league.
wear, Pete? What number does he wear?
Was it 0?
One of the things I was gonna say about the Jokic MVP thing, badges we saw, like they're not necessarily gonna make your moments 3x, but I think it would be cool to add those things just to note, like he won MVP. If he wins MVP, like his Series 2 moments, I think should get tagged. Like I bought Lamar Jackson cards from his second year and he won MVP. No one knows that, but I just think it's cool to like note that's when. And I think you could put little finals trophies next to guys who won titles in that year. Like there seems to be like a lot of cool things they could do that doesn't only have to be related to like them bumping in price.
Yeah. Let's rip. Who's
I got
ripping?
Anyone? Did Austin or Jason or
I've
any?
had terrible backlog.
No pack luck.
I can go. But do we want our guests? Guests don't have or don't want to go?
Alex was the
Yeah.
only of our 3 guests
Yeah,
with a pack.
All right.
I have. Or you want to go first, Mike?
We'll
No, you
do.
can go,
We'll do.
you can go.
Let
We'll do
Mike
2
go
more pack
first if
drops.
he's gonna die. I mean,
Yeah.
Not that,
Yes,
like,
while I'm kicking.
nothing.
All right, you already shared. Have at it.
Oh, this is me.
We'll
Okay.
do a walk-off pack drop with MBL.
Okay.
All right.
Jack Settleman. Always nice to check in and see how big of an influencer he is.
Buy your merch, people. Buy your merch.
Look at that. That's how you get into the good graces. Start shilling the merch. Common 6'6".
Nelly
Little Bob Cove.
against the Knicks. What the fuck?
That's the
That's
kind of
kind of a
hustle.
fun pass.
Yeah.
it is. Oh.
Little first
Ooh.
moment there.
I'm
Wow.
surprised that that's his first moment.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
LaMelo.
Okay.
These influencers. God.
Look at that.
Who is that? Muscala?
Uh,
I think it's Muscala. Does he even get minutes or play, or is he hurt, or what's his deal?
LaMelo, yeah, he's hurt.
No, I was talking about Muscala, but then
all right. Oh,
Common 5146.
Okay.
Carmelo Anthony.
All right.
Mellow. Two mellows.
I mean that's just vintage Carmelo.
yeah.
That's
I'd almost say it's quintessential Carmelo.
What are our thoughts on LaMelo kind of getting the nickname of Mellow when we really have a pretty well-established Mellow already?
Well, we couldn't call him Ball because there's already a pretty popular Ball in every game.
The basket. Yeah.
There's 2 of
We're
them.
talking about the basketball?
No, we're not
late in
talking
his
about
career.
Jamal Murray's live stream.
Yes, let's brainstorm a nickname. Are you saying that Carmelo deserves the Mellow nickname? He's already earned it.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Is
mean,
anyone not saying that?
I think I'm saying it right now. I'm ready for LaMelo to wrestle it away from him.
wow. Look
Who do you
up.
think? Who do you think at the end of their
Passing it
career?
along as it's kind of the end of Carmelo's career. He could be passing it along.
What about LeBall?
Well, so
Like
here's,
LeBron?
here's my thing.
LeBall.
If that's literally his name and it's what people have called him his entire life, I don't think that we can tell him that he no longer gets to have that name.
Of course we
I don't
can.
think that's part of it.
It went from
Yes,
Mike
Andy.
Jordan to
Yes, we
Michael
can.
Jordan.
All right.
Michael Jordan was Mike Jordan until the world decided he should be a Michael.
What about Lemesius? No?
Where are you pulling that?
What?
Like,
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I'd love to know where the ideation. What was going on there?
What's
I
the
just
etymology?
think, like
Show
he
us how
goes,
the sausage gets made over there. Jack.
Lemesius for the win!
We didn't say use it in a sentence. We said, how did you come
is
up
that
with
Old
it?
Sounds like
Testament or New
Jack-
Testament?
Yeah, Jack is gonna release his new app of like
Yes.
biblical versions of NBA players.
Yeah, I mean it's not perfect mesh between LaMelo and Jesus. It's like a cool mesh. Lemesius. We'll test it out. We'll see.
Yeah,
what
his
the
middle
people
name
like.
is LaFrance. So
Wait,
What?
it is?
Is that real?
No,
I
it's
think
not.
so. That's what Wikipedia says.
Oh, okay.
No
let
way.
me drop the best name that no one knows about that they should. Does anyone know John Morant's real name?
Oh, it's. I know it's a lot or something.
It's Demetrius, and he should be going by that name. And we need to. Oh my
Is
god!
that- is that-
LaFrance?
I'm on
LaFrance?
Basketball Reference, and it does seem to be true. It's on there as well.
All right.
Okay.
How is his nickname not Lala?
Okay.
Isn't that like Melo's wife?
Man, Melo
That makes it
got
better, I think.
monopoly.
Perfect.
Yeah, poor LaMelo Ball's out here trying to grab like the equivalent of Yats for nicknames, and Carmelo is squatted on all the good ones.
It
for him.
also, you want to talk about how it was made. How does Lala make any sense? It would be La. Wait,
La-
was
La
it
Ba.
La France? Was it La France?
Yeah.
I thought it was La.
What about
No,
La
no.
La Ba?
Hey,
Also, can we talk about how? Why is it that all these early adopters who were in the NBA 10 years ago get to have all the good nicknames, and these
Yeah.
new guys just get screwed?
yeah,
That's why I think we try Lemesius. I don't know. We'll see.
that one it has a
in beta.
0.0% chance of sticking.
You think?
How do
Okay,
you
but
spell it?
what do you guys Lemesius? LE, LA.
I didn't even get 2 letters in.
LA, capital M, EZIOUS. It could be like his rap name also.
Mike, share your screen. We gotta get
All
out
of this
of here.
conversation.
We gotta get out of here.
All right. Yes, I'll
Imagine Mike
check. I'll
just
check the
falls
box.
asleep due to COVID.
I'm hanging in.
Phil B's got the spelling. Thank you, Phil B. Thank you, Justin. This is centralization with Pete with the comment posting. There's positive sentiment and
Yeah.
negative, but all the screen's gonna see is the negative.
I have a StreamYard account with comments
Decentralized.
worth over $1 million.
Decentralize this stream.
Which one do you want? This?
That's up to you.
Scroll down. What's that?
You're
The
in charge
final?
of the vault.
Yeah, misclick on the
Oh,
finals.
are Alex and Jason and Austin not big enough rappers for you to open up your
worthy.
finals packs?
With all due respect, they are not. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I guess you guys are more base pack type guys. Wow,
Sorry.
I would open up one of my finals if I had one.
I've
for you
been
guys.
called
I just want
worse.
you to know.
Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Is this the last pack of the night?
As a walk-off?
This is a walk-off pack.
All right, get hype. Let's go.
Yeah,
Everyone
say
get
go.
hype.
All right.
I'm falling asleep here. I've got my second
I'm
vaccine
hoping
running through my veins. I need help.
Triple Lemesius. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm going up on the standing desk. That's how just lit I am for this.
Oh no.
All right.
I'm feeling
Number 2. Andy says 2.
Two's been good to us tonight.
All right, Gary Harris.
Gary Harris.
Gary Harris was
Nice.
very sought after like a year or 2 years ago, and now he's an afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not very good at basketball.
Everyone thought he was going to be like unreal. I went 3.
I hit a lot of injuries and stuff.
Nice girl.
Miles
Okay.
Turner.
Nice.
We'll take it.
Hang on, Mike.
765.
Mike, don't rip it. We got to do some housekeeping here for a walk off. We appreciate you guys coming out tonight for the State of the Union. Thank you to Trey Kerby for joining us. Thank you to our club VIPs, Austin, Alex, and Jason, hopping in the club, sharing their thoughts. Thank you to Jack for multiple costume changes, nickname proposals, everything you continue to do for our community. Mike, Andy, as always, we appreciate you coming out and sharing your knowledge, answering questions that you asked to receive. In the case of Mike,
everyone subscribe to Pete's channel, please. And hit the like button.
Oh, I will say tomorrow, I just want the record to show that the 69 auction for Manzanelli's NFT does close at 4:20 p.m. We are doing a stream at 3:45. Jack has
It's
agreed.
also going to overlap with the legendary drop.
Yeah.
Some would say tomorrow's stream will be legendary.
Well, here's the thing. If you load up, I'd say, get, your ETH ready to go for the holo drop. And when you miss out, you might want to get into the man's bidding street. I actually coordinated
Did the man say what the reserve price is?
No, but it honestly wouldn't be that hard to figure out. And I'm not too confident we're going to hit it, and we will be burning that moment if he does not hit the reserve price. So might be saying goodbye to 69 tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, Mike, let's walk us off here.
All right, and Chad, thanks for posing questions, sticking with us. We'll do more questions next time. I was shut down in my attempts to feed your question urges. And now to the third moment. All right, here we go.
Do it.
Lemesius.
One time, Lemesius. The nickname will stick if you get it.
Ooh, 64. Isaiah Joe.
Another.
I don't know who Isaiah Joe is.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't know who that is.
With 2 first names.
Okay.
Right, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not a jump shot. That's a layup.
If there's one thing we know tonight, it's not a jump shot. It's a layup. All right, we'll see you guys next time.